Hello, everyone. Scotty White of World Combat Sports. Give me a minute to chime this in. I'm waiting on two participants. What we're going to talk about, of course, is boxing. Not just the Wilder situation that's going on, but it's a big deal because, from what I'm hearing, the rematch has been pretty much confirmed that it will take place in July, right? So now we just want to touch bases on certain speculations is going around with a match this magnitude and the fallout, post fight and what exactly transferred. The social media is telling a story. You have different sources that you can listen to or whatever, but social media is telling a huge story about, the speculation that's going on with the actual win. I've been getting messages all in my inbox and everything, because people just want to say, lay down, take the loss, because that's what it looked like. Lay down, take the loss, be quiet, and come back around for the rematch. Some is saying he don't deserve it. You know what I'm saying? I just want to hear your input for those of you that's tuning in from Facebook and YouTube. What's good? What's good? William Old School. What's good? Thanks for dropping by, man. I want to hear your comments about this. So basically what's going on, right? As I wait for the other two participants to join me on live, I just want to hear your feedback and what you have to say about the whole situation of the fallout, because I know this is past, but it's not. It's still residue. It's residue on the surface of the media in dealing with this situation. It's a big deal because if you haven't already seen, there's photos out there and everything of Tyson Fury, his lead hand, his jab, the glove flexing and everything. So when I posted the video, people was like, oh, that's slow motion. That's how it looks in slow motion. But a hand can't move like that with bones in it. You know what I'm saying? We're not talking about the X-Men. A glove don't supposed to move like that. And then it's showing pictures of Tyson Fury, laces on his gloves not being all the way tight, so he's able to put it, potentially move his hand, down in the wrist area and not be all the way up in the glove, which provides him a reach advantage. And also it allows him, if he's flicking that jab out there, to potentially hit Wilder with his knuckles that's not basically, in the glove itself, because the padding is there to protect the fighter. That's what the padding is there for. The hand wraps and the padding is there to protect the fighter. Let me hear what you have to say about that, Fife Mans. M Greg 64, salute, man. Thanks for dropping in the house, man. All of you that's tuned in. You know what it is already. Salute from World Combat Sports. M Greg say Wilder deserves a rematch. If everybody else would take that type of tune, and stop saying what he don't deserve. What he don't deserve. I was just talking to a cat last night. I just came back from South Carolina covering the fight card out there. Shout out to Andrew Stokes boxing promotion. Salute to you. Hell of a card, him and Garrett Pridgeon. Jalen Pridgeon won another regional belt, the championship. He's the welterweight ABF champion over there in South Carolina. But he was the main event again, man. Awesome fight card, 15 fights on the card, and they didn't disappoint. Some was short, some wasn't. But shout out to the promotion for their support of World Combat Sports. I appreciate it. I'm grateful, and I thank you very much for your support. I was talking to a guy yesterday, and people, when it comes to Deontay Wilder, they always talking about what he don't deserve, right? And then people want to say, well, look at his record, look at his resume. Do you know how difficult it is for a fighter to step into the ring and just say he fighting subpar performers? Let's say any fighter are fighting subpar performers. They still have to go in there and perform, right? These fighters have box rec accountability, right? So if they have box rec accountability and they're getting the fights, we know regional is different. This separates the casual from the mainstreamers. We know that building your record up, you're going to have some subpar performances. You can look on everybody's record And this is what you're gonna see. You know, that's what you're gonna see. You're gonna see some subpar performance. Some you're gonna see lopsided. Lopsided is like 2-5, 2 wins, 10 losses, something like that. You're gonna see that. William Old School said, I saw the video and the pictures of Tyson Fury's gloves. Hold on for a second. I saw the video pictures of Tyson Fury gloves slid back and him using his fist in the back part of the glove. You know, facts, man, it's out there. When I spoke on it initially, I knew it was the first video, but that just goes to show you the way his glove was flexing back and forth from the first fight. Then the second video came up of the recent fight that was on 22nd of February. I mean, what is going on now? You know, we shouldn't ask these crazy questions like we are not cognizant of what we're visualizing here. Was his hand fully seated in the glove? If it wasn't, what should be done about it? Very, very solid input there from William Old School. M. Greg, you know, say he deserves a rematch. He sure looks guilty. You know, when you have social media the way it is, the good thing about social media in these times is that they can vindicate someone. I know what it looks like when we talk about vindication, right? Wilder looked like he went in there and he took punishment and he was dominated. That goes without saying. You know, Wilder went in there and he lost the fight. But if the opponent had any type of advantage in the sport of boxing to cause much more detrimental, we're talking about like Panama Lewis, Billy Collins, Luis Resto. We're talking about people like Antonio Margarita who have cheated the sport to render more physical damage than they would if they just would have laced up regular with regular gloves, regular hand wraps. It's a problem. It's a crime. You know what I'm saying? And this is what I want to know if an investigation is gonna play out in the upcoming weeks. We want to know that, because if the champ lost, let it be a loss that he was fairly defeated in the ring. From what it looked like to us, he was outworked and outperformed. I said it before, right? But if he was getting popped upside the head, if he was getting hit with that jab with the knuckles being in the wrist area, not in the cushion area, that's cheating. That might have caused a lot of damage outside. You know, you have bare knuckle fighting. You know what I'm saying? So when you have bare knuckle fighting, guess what? They cut easy. They swell easy. It's no joke. I want to salute Ronald Finkley, man. Ronald Finkley in the live chat. Appreciate your donation, man. Real talk. For those of you that's donating to the channel, truly appreciate it, man. World Combat Sports continue to you know, get new people each and every day. But some of you I'm familiarizing myself with. But salute to you and thank you. I totally appreciate it. Ronald Finkley said, "What's good? Salute. Salute to you, man." William Old School said, "Ronald Finkley, salute." Wilder doesn't deserve a rematch. He is the rematch. Kings don't chase, salute. I hear that. From my understanding, for reliable sources, right, is that Deontay Wilder has heard, he's seen pretty much. You know, I'm just going off sources. I'm not speaking for Deontay or his camp, but I've heard that his response to Tyson Fury and all the videos and pictures is going around that he doesn't care because he believes he's a king that will rise to the challenge and return and take his throne and what's rightfully his. That's what he believes in. I know a lot of you all have been seeing him post little short clips. That's what he does. If the man adamantly believes that he is a king of the sport, he is one of those athletes that God anointed. He speaks about his grandma saying he was anointed. You know what I'm saying? So if he truly believes that he's able to return in about close to 5 months, then why would anybody dispute it? Because once again, you know, I'm always going to throw some comparisons out there. You know what I'm saying? I got to throw the comparisons out there. When Joshua said he was going to rematch freaking Ruiz, what were y'all saying? Good, good. And then Son was like, can he make any changes enough to come back in here and do anything different? If he was to get rid of McCracken, you know, Anthony Joshua changed up the camp a little bit, and that's what it was. But I'm telling you, you know what I'm saying? What was the language when Anthony Joshua went in there and performed and got dominated the way he did, then turned back around and they're going to rematch, and people's like, good, he can get his belts back. And how did he get his belts back? By standing on the outside, using his footwork, keeping his distance, using his perimeter and popping his jab. Was it any different than Anthony Joshua we know? I don't think so. I mean, it's just like Ruiz came in inept to the magnitude of the fight. The man wasn't even conditioned. Anyway, back to the comments, man. I appreciate that comment. Ron Finkley said it in stone, man. Kings don't chase. Kings don't chase, man. AJ 26. They need to do a proper investigation for any rematch happen. I agree. But from what I'm hearing, boxing is a sport, right? I'm being a little facetious, you know. All right. Boxing is a sport, right? So therefore, boxing is a sport. They had a rematch come on. They want to get the bag. You know what I'm saying? They want to get the bag. Like Deontay said, you know, I'm a king. I'm not worrying about him cheating, because it's meant for me to be. It's meant for me to be. So now go back in there, and especially now that the video is out there from the first fight and the second fight, people are going to pay more attention to the actual physical layers of Tyson Fury's attire. They're going to make sure that he isn't coming in here with his fist in the wrist part of the glove to allow him to have an advantage with your reach and everything. They're going to pay more close attention. We live in the tech area, y'all. It's easy to sit up here and make sure the camera is zoomed in, you know. But I like Deontay's attitude, man, his mentality. Never quit or give up. You know? Never quit or give up. No surrender, no retreat. Chris Ray, what's good? What's good? What's good? Thanks for dropping in, man. Ronald Finkley said, William Old School. Salute William Old School. Wilder has much more inspirational story than Fury. I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that. You know what I'm saying? I absolutely agree with that. You have people this day and time, they want to hear controversy. They want to hear controversy only with certain people. They want to hear controversy with certain people, right? Because it's good for Tyson Fury to come back from unraveling from his own doing. He the one decided to get on the drugs. He the one was doing pads and everything else that was coming along with it. So he basically went out here as a mischievous champion, decided to drop out the sport because they were stripping him his titles. And he took his hiatus, went to dark places, and came back with a mental illness storyline. Now, I granted that my audience, I know y'all some of the most intelligent people out here. You know what I'm saying? I know that. So what I'm telling you is, what would you think if Deontay Wilder would have came back after being on a drug binge for years, months, several months? You know, would you give him a pass if he came back and say, you know what, I'm off this particular drug, alcohol, I'm losing the weight? No, we can't put him in that light because he always seemed like he in shape. You know what I'm saying? He always seemed like he's ready for war. Chris Ray said, thanks for making this video. World Combat Sports, appreciate it, man. We separating the real from the fake. That was from Ronald Finkley. Chris Ray, well said. M. Greg, there should definitely be an investigation. You know, we definitely want to hope that the boxing politics get this investigation, but I don't think it's going to happen if they have a fight scheduled before July, because that's a huge bad. Now, it'll be great if they was to say, you know what, let's do an investigation before the fight, right? But you got to understand what belt we're dealing with, the powers that be. We're dealing with Mauricio Suleiman. You think he's gonna allow somebody to dictate his pace? You think he's gonna allow somebody to put instructions into his booklet? I mean, we're talking about the franchise championship, the one where a fighter cannot lose. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, the fighter cannot lose a title, but they can be considered undisputed without earning a super WBC title. Long as they're the franchise champion, you know, long as they're the franchise champion, they can be undisputed if they get the rest of the belts collectively. They don't need the super, but they cannot lose the belt. That's Mauricio Suleiman. So what do you think is going to happen to this? It's too much money out there. I don't think it's going to be an investigation before the rematch, the trilogy. Ronald Finkley says Stitch Duran just normalized Tyson Fury's integrated. He made it unbelievable, but he is a tape man who didn't see the gloves being put on. Yeah, Stitch Duran, salute to the legend. Much respect to Jacob Duran. You know what I'm saying? If he's vouching for whoever it is, Tyson Fury, the last corner that he was in, I understand it. Man, the man been around. He's a legend. People do it. They want to keep that job. They want to keep that rapport. They want Tyson Fury camp to call him back for this trilogy. But if he comment, you know, outside the scope of his area of responsibility, right? It's a concern. But yeah, it's just an opinion. Believe it. It's just an opinion. I wouldn't take too much into it. I wouldn't dive too much into it, but it's a solid point though. You know, I like it. Solid points being made, man. William O. School, I'm still pissed about the disrespect Wilder gets. We should be behind American heavyweight champ. Listen, that's what we would hope from pillar to post. We would hope that the U.S. will get behind American heavyweight champ. Now, granted, we have a thin line that we truly understand what it's about. That thin line is separated by people who choose to look at Wilder for who he is as his ethnicity, being a black fighter. And there's so many black fighters in the freaking sport of boxing. When is the last time we seen a Klitschko, you know, Vitaly and Vladimir? When is the last time? So therefore, you take Tyson Fury, who won the titles, but guess what? He wasn't really accepted. You know what I'm saying? He really wasn't accepted the way we think. You know what I'm saying? Coming from Brit, he really wasn't accepted like that. People kind of didn't show Tyson Fury that attention that he's getting now. It just didn't happen. I'm gonna bring on John Owens. He's been in the sport for quite some time. You know, good friend of mine, and you know we're gonna talk about some of the situations and comments going on. What's going on, John?
What's going on?
All right.
How you doing?
Randa just called me. Did she say she was coming on or not?
Yeah.
So in light of what's been going on, John, you know, with the aftermath of Deontay Wilder, I know you had your words, but let those who are tuned in, the supporters and boxing fans that's out there. First of all, John is very astute to boxing history. I've learned a lot from him. That don't mean we don't agree on everything when it comes to fights, but as far as boxing goes, his knowledge is unbelievably, you know, the depth of it is unbelievable, right? So tell him what you told me about Deontay Wilder, man. You know, the conspiracy theories and everything else that he may have had in walking to the ring, man.
No, it ain't no conspiracy theory. It just the facts is out there. You know, they stacked the deck against him, and it was, you know, Fury is the people's champ. Fact. Because one, it just raised the question like Luis Ortiz was uh hitting harder than Tyson Fury at the time. Tyson Fury ain't knocked nobody out of how many years? Now all of a sudden he's a killer.
Correct.
Come on, man. Let's put it together. Let's put it together. I mean, I ain't trying to raise nobody eyebrows. Me, everybody entitled to their opinion, but let's put it all together. You mean tell me in 8 weeks he became a killer? Now he Iron Mike in 8 weeks.
For real.
For real. For real. And Luis Ortiz, Olympic gold medalist and a Cuban prospect, over 350 amateur fights and hit Deontay Wilder flesh in the jaw 8 times, and Wilder didn't go down. But you mean tell me Fury hit him 1 time, he just evaporated. Nobody buying that, bro. Nobody's buying that, bro.
So have you seen the videos, John, that's out there with his hand potentially in the wrist of the gloves?
Oh, no, that right hand looks suspect. The right hand look real suspect. You put it on the steel or you put it on the slow. I don't know. I can't really say because I ain't wrapped his hand, but I'm just saying. That's like one of the softest, hardest right hands I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, the softest, hardest right hands.
I've ever seen in my life.
Okay. Hey, John. I know we was debating back and forth about the reason why Deontay Wilder looked the way he did walking into the ring. As far as his legs being gone. What did you say about that? What did you say about the potential of why his legs might have been rubbery or unbalanced the way they were?
Hey man, before fighting, now you gotta stay away from the pie, man. You gotta become a Muslim, stay off that pussy.
So you said, so your words is the champ was potentially indulging in physical activities that will weaken a man before battle. That's what you're trying to say.
Exactly.
So what do you have to support that, John? I know you've been in the sport for a while. Explain it to him like you explained to me, as far as the way you come up with that theory.
The legs ain't sturdy. Man needs legs to fight. You know what I mean? The man gonna need his legs to fight. Automatically. Somebody can brush you with a punch. You ain't on sturdy legs, you just done. You can see me.
So what would be your advice if you had to give Deontay Wilder right now, heading into this trilogy? What would your advice be?
Just hold your head up, It's a humbling experience, Go. Back.
I'm gonna get back to some of the comments while John, he's having technical difficulties right now. But everybody who's tuned in, hey, hit the like button. Truly appreciate it. Hey, you back, John? I couldn't hear you.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Actually, just go back to the drawing board. You know what I'm saying? Make it personal. Just come back with a vengeance, He ain't the first champion to lose a belt. He won't be the last. It just now you understand. Now he understands the significance and the importance of being on top. Everybody strive to be on top, but it's hard to stay.
AJ26.
Man, I don't know say it again.
No, you was going in and out, man. What did you say?
He just got to reinvent himself. He got to take it more serious. Anthony Joshua said the best after the fight. He said, when I lost to John Louis, it was the greatest thing that happened to me. I had to eat humble pie. So he just eat the humble pie, man, keep moving, keep pushing. You know what I'm saying? He's still one of the greatest heavyweights. It's no argument, no issue about that.
I don't think Deontay is not humble. I just think the way the fans was booing him when he was walking into the arena, and after the fight, him losing his title and the way he's being vilified in the media, as a fighter, he probably feels some type of way about it. You agree or disagree?
I agree with you, but this is what I'm saying. You, y'all was both of y'all prime, right? They both in their prime, right?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is this: you fought, you came to fight, you put up a fight, you lost the fight. It's just okay. So happened on this night, Tyson Fury just was better than him on this night. It happens to the best of them, you know what I mean? So you don't lay down and wallow in a loss. You come back strong. That's all you gotta do.
I heard from reliable sources that Deontay Wilder saying, he don't care if Tyson Fury cheated or not. He a king. He gonna come back regardless and make it right. He gonna get back what's his.
And that's the attitude to have.
Ronald Finkley said, that was me. I fell out with ego over this topic. At Chris Ray, he blocked people who were concerned. I just lost the wrench. What I predicted a week ago. I can't be blocked though. I'm gonna ruin him. Okay. Ronald Finkley let it be known. M. Greg, I'm just waiting. Hey John, I'm just waiting on Randa to come on here. She just sent me a text. I'm gonna read some of these comments. M. Greg said Margarito should have been arrested after brother Nassim caught him with loaded raps. Absolutely. Attention to detail about Nassim Richardson. For those of you that don't know, he had just came off that huge victory over Miguel Cotto, right? And he really beat Makoto. He beat Miguel Cotto down. Like he made him take a knee. And Cotto is freaking resilient, tough, tenacious. And then he goes in there with Sugar Shane Mosley and he gets recognized. He gets exposed by Nassim Richardson. And they confiscated the raps. And then after the fight, if you didn't see, during the fight, Sugar Shane Mosley, gave him a beat down for trying to cheat. It's one of the most special fights that you'll see when somebody get caught cheating and then go in there and get their ass handed to him. That's exactly what happened to Antonio Margarito. And then afterwards, they only suspended him for like a year. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't that long. AJ26 said Fury has had a history of cheating. We heard that AJ, let me go back up. AJ said Fury has a history of cheating. Hold on for a second. Somehow it was all the comments is coming in. Fury dressing room cut off the camera before getting his hands wrapped as well. Why would they do that if they got nothing to hide? Good comments coming in. Ronald Finkley, peace at Chris Ray. Okay, round of them are on now. Hold on. King Ebenezer, what's good? Fury gained over 20 pounds and went to Crunk and Sugar Hill. He has 21 knockouts and 30 fights. He has power. If he had power, he would have knocked out Sefa Safari, Francisco Pianetta, Tom Swartz, and freaking Otto Wallen. So all of a sudden, he takes C-level fighters, right? And he goes in here and put the champ down twice. And he couldn't do that with C-level fighters. It don't make any sense. Hey, how you doing, Randa? Dr. K, what's good? Your twins.
How you doing?
All right. It's good to have y'all on. I was speaking to John earlier. I just had him kind of go over his theory about Deontay Wilder potentially involved in sexual activities before. His thoughts, not mine. What do you all think as to why Deontay performed the way he did, coming in there with unsteady legs?
Well, this is just from a psychological standpoint. Usually, I would fighter walk into the ring, and I try to look for the attitude they have. Do they have, focus, tiger? Do they seem to really be strong? And I just noticed that he seemed to be more focused on his relationship, and I'm glad he's in love. Love is a wonderful thing. But he did have, it seemed as if he had some problems kind of getting through the road.
Your comments are like intermittent, like you going in and out. You going in and out. I'm just letting you know, like we can only hear every other word.
Is that
It's,
bad?
it's just it's just going in and out. Hey John, when they talking, can you mute? Can you mute yourself? I no, never mind. I'll do it. I'll do it. Never mind. Go ahead. Go on. Go ahead. Street of Twins. Go ahead. Now we can't hear anything. Hey John, go ahead and
Okay.
well, I guess you covered everything, as far as
Better?
I can hear you now. Go ahead and try to complete
Okay.
what you were saying because you was going in and out.
Okay. Well, Dr. K stated noticed some behavioral things that were different.
Just things that I'm not used to seeing with him.
Well,
I'm used to seeing him being very focused going into the ring and actually, walking into the ring, being able to get through the ropes really quickly and really being focused on what he was doing and to walk all the way across the MGM. That's a lot to have to make that long. And then to have, the woman that you love there with you. I'm sure that took some of his, and so it just seemed like his legs were not as strong as I'm used to seeing. So I immediately became worried when I saw that.
So it's a lot of it's a lot of
I was waiting
listeners.
for Scotty to.
Okay.
Well, as far as with Wilder's behavior,
Y'all went out again. What's up, Alex Ayala? Salute to you. Yeah, I can't hear you again. I can't hear you. Ronald Williams said, "Why
is
Fury
that
blocked
better
the
now?
camera?" I mean, I can hear you, but every now and then it's intermittent. So I can hear
Now,
you now.
Scotty?
Go ahead.
Facebook friends with about the Fury fight and it's going in and out.
Okay.
Well, on my bed.
In reference to Wilder's entrance into the ring, well, she talked about entrance.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to talk about inside of the ring.
It's scary.
Second round, I noticed something. Third round told the story. Third round showed that he had period. And officers and boxing, I'm not gonna say boxing fans, but people who work, we know what causes in your legs. And I mean, it's
one of the greatest guys. I mean, definitely
inside the ring, outside the ring, but
he has championship material.
But in reference to the legs, in reference to the legs, all I'm going to say is, Scotty and John, you know what we said about the legs.
Keep it clean.
Okay.
It wasn't no we. It was y'all.
We said when a fighter appears to have weak legs, they cannot throw a powerful punch
because the punch comes from the leg.
The power comes from your foot, your legs on up to your arms. Now, because he could not demonstrate what he's used to doing, it's consistent. Mm-hmm. The Deontay Wilder on Saturday night was not Deontay Wilder. The first thing I kept saying is, what's wrong with him? Mm-hmm. You know, this is not Deontay. People were looking and saying, this is not Deontay. And when I looked at his legs, I knew why that wasn't Deontay. He was happy that wasn't Deontay.
Keep it clean. We're keeping it clean. We do not know what he did. His legs.
We know, but
I am not saying that.
But she's not.
I know what I. But hope for him. However, I think I heard Mr. Owen say he's still a champion. He's still a great fighter. I 100% believe that, and I believe that from all of the comments that he's made, you have a winner who is trying to get over a defeat. This man has never been defeated in boxing. He shot up straight into stardom, and personally, and maybe I'm sorry, give him a break and let him get himself together and come back.
I don't think we're that he's not going to be able to talk, but I do believe he needs to go back to the basic fundamentals that he used to get to the top. Now,
go back to the drawing board.
Go back to the drawing board. Now, whoever gave him permission to have family with him during camp, I think he's
not the best choice.
Well, I think if he's somebody or put someone on punishment, that should be that person. And if that person is the head coach, which is JD, who's making all of the decisions, they need to retract or redo what they are allowing him to do that's not working for him.
That's your suggestion.
That's my suggestion.
Hey, Randy, you said family. You mean family during the training camp or at the fight?
I can't hear. You said what, Scotty? What did you say?
You said family in training camp or at the fight? Because no one really saw him in the training camp. You talking about at the fight?
No. Don't you remember when he was training for his first fight against Tyson Fury? He stated he had his family with him because that's what he wanted, that's what he needed. Well, you're supposed to receive or there are no advantages for camp. Everything is, you're deprived from everything. That's supposed to get you mad, angry, aggressive, bullheaded, ready to do damage inside of the ring.
It helps create the focus and the energy.
And when you are things that's bringing happiness per se, what are you looking forward to when you're supposed to go inside of those ropes and destroy someone? Basically.
Take out all of your frustration on your opponent, and then get happy after your win.
But it seems like
what do y'all think?
You know, the opposite. and that's why they're not able to fulfill their dreams or become the champion, because they're thinking that they're supposed to be happy.
Well, I don't know what they're thinking.
I'm not saying for Deontay Wilder. Saying a lot of your younger boxers that's coming up, their ex are a little bit different.
Right.
It's like it's military. It's all about that. I don't know nothing about boot camp. I wouldn't survive. I can't. But I'm just saying, Tay Wilder we saw was not the hungry Tay Wilder that we need. I mean, it was sort of, it was disappointing because I wanted him. Well, I just assumed that he in this fight. I thought it was going to be an easy fight. But I'm thinking about when we were down at Fitzgerald's, and John immediately stated that he was going to lose. Now I see why. Tyson went in making adjustments.
Well, he had a new coach.
Well,
so everything was different.
That's why I said he went in.
Hey, let me just get to a couple of comments right quick. Straight to points. Tay Jones said if that was the case, he had plenty of losses. Trust me. What's your response to that?
Plenty of losses. Trust me.
He said if that's the case, he would have had plenty of losses. If you're talking about the testosterone and having relations before a fight.
Right. I'll say this. I cannot predict who's going to win and who's going to lose, but I can say for sure, every time I've seen a fighter fumble with the ropes, they lose.
And she's telling the truth.
And whatever causes rope fumbling, it is usually a precursor.
And we
not winning.
We go back and forth about that because the first thing I say, hey, why are you going to say that? You know, what's making you say that person is going to lose?
I'm trying to look at behavior.
He stumbled getting inside of the ring. And she's been right 100% of the time.
Yeah. I figure we've gotten into a ring before. It takes sure-footedness, some strength, and really you have to feel brave to even open the ropes to get in there. That is not an easy feat. And we've done it in dresses and heels. And we did it perfectly. But I know that takes a lot of energy. And if they get to that point, and your body's gone through a lot, your mind has gone through a lot. And so when you're taking those walks, those final steps into the ring, and you don't have a show of strength right there, it seems to all go down from there. That's what I've seen.
Okay.
Hey, SLK 50 TV said, Ronald was saying how does Deontay Wilder get open a pair of open gloves? I mean, a fresh bag of gloves out of FedEx, packed, not checked. They put them on straight out of the envelope, and then Ronald Finkley says, Boxing King, those are things you need to know. I lost money on the fight. King Ebenezer said excuses and conspiracy won't help Wilder. I'm a Wilder fan, but it just won't help him. SLK 50 said, let it be known I want Deontay to win. But you got to call a spade, coming from SLK 50. Then last, William Oscoon said, all I know is that there's enough evidence for an investigation by the Boxing Commission. What they're talking about is the pictures out there with potentially Tyson Fury having his hand in the wrist area.
You talking about the gloves that we talked about? It appeared that Tyson Fury's hands were not all the way completely inside of the glove area. It appeared that his fingers or his digits were inside the area of the glove where
that's on the 22nd now.
Where your wrist should be, and his fingers were right there. That's how it appears.
Correct. That's from the 22nd. This picture, it's the video from the first fight and from the 22nd of February in the rematch.
So are you saying they're going to investigate that or not?
I'm saying there's speculation out there that the rematch is going to happen, and they're in the process, sources saying they're in the process of looking into the pictures that are out there online showing that Tyson Fury laces wasn't tight. His laces was
Okay.
loose near his wrist. I mean, there's several pictures out there that's showing it.
Because it looks like his gloves was just. It appeared like something else extra was in it.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So what if he is found out to be cheating? What would your response be to that if Tyson Fury allegedly was found out to have used advantages that can potentially hurt a fight?
Oh, I think he should be banned for life.
He should be banned.
That's the case.
He should be banned
for life
from boxing.
But I'm not saying that's what he did. But
no, we're not saying that's what he did. But if that's the reason why Wilder was hurt in the way that it appeared like he was, I don't think they should just throw it under the rug. That should be something that they really investigate, and if it happened, they should make a decision immediately, because if they don't, you're gonna have other boxers thinking they can get away with cheating as well in the boxing ring. This could possibly kill someone.
One does not have to exist outside of the other one. Like, he could have cheated, and Deontay could have done whatever he did. Like, there could be there's a lot of different scenarios that could take place in a situation like this, when you see a fight that's just so characteristically different from what we've seen, that it, anything could have gone wrong. So I do feel like if either party feels like something happened that was not supposed to happen, that would be illegal or against the rules, then yes, they definitely should look into that.
And that's a solid point. AJ 26 said more than enough evidence out here, people to choose not to believe their own eyes on purpose. So it's, he's basically saying it's a lot of evidence out here dealing with the gloves, but they just don't want to put the visual on it because it's Tyson Fury. They just don't want to make a commitment to say, you know what, he's culpable of going in there cheating.
Okay.
Well, I will say this now. This is more of a political statement, probably, than more about fighting. I personally feel like because now you have, quote unquote, the great white hope who has the belts, I feel like there may not be as big of a rush for for there to be a rematch, just because that feeling of having a heavyweight boxer who is Caucasian, kind of like the same thing with that I call it the Rocky Balboa complex. And so I hope that if they want a rematch, I hope that actually happens. But just something tells me that a lot of people out there are really happy that we have a Rocky who is now who now holds the belts. What do you think, Scotty?
I don't see him as a Rocky. The rematch is scheduled for July, right?
For when?
July.
Okay.
Yeah, the rematch is scheduled for July. So, right now, when it comes to whether the world, the U.S. community, or the audience, the boxing fans, of course, they appreciated Tyson Fury in the Staples Center, and they appreciated him at the MGM Grand.
I've been reading, a lot of people have stated that they don't think that this fight, the trilogy, would get as much hype, and I think that's incorrect. I think with them doing a trilogy, it will be the biggest fight ever, because now you will be seeing two opponents. Now they both know what and what not to do, and I think this time Wilder would be making a whole lot of adjustments.
Oh yeah,
a whole lot, because now he sees Tyson Fury's game plan, and then too, he had Coach Sugar.
I mean,
and Coach Sugar is no joke. The Crump Gym, they bring the crump to you. So their goal is to destroy you. And I mean, Tyson, it was his night. It was Tyson Fury's night, because I always say, may the best man win. And I honestly believe
given night, anybody can win.
But I honestly believe Wilder just didn't make any adjustments. He assumed that he was going to go into that ring and use their beautiful right arm they normally use, that make a person lay flat, you know, on the pavement per se, and it didn't happen.
Yeah.
And I hope he's saying that he's going to have to add in more jabs, some hooks. He's gonna have to box.
Yeah.
Because Tyson Fury is a boxer. But now Tyson Fury is not just a boxer, he is a puncher. He has developed techniques to overpower Deontay Wilder. So he's gonna have to bring someone else into the camp to figure Tyson Fury's game out. And you know, we're always good at figuring out somebody's game plan.
Well, I want to just switch the focus a little bit to when the fight was stopped. You know, I know there's some controversy around whether it should have been stopped, and he didn't think it should have been
stopped in the third
but,
round.
you know, I feel like the gentleman who stopped the fight, what's his name? The guy that we talked to.
Mark Breland. Mark Breland. Kenny Bayless was the referee.
Mark Breland lives and breathes boxing. He loves boxing. And I mean, he literally sat in the hallway with us in Las Vegas for an hour, just taking us through everything he does with his training and how he builds it up. And it was beautiful. You can tell this man is someone who really loves the sport and the artistry of boxing. And I also believe he loves Deontay Wilder and did not want to see him get the internal injuries that he could have obtained in that fight that would have, you know, maybe even been career ending, because for his ear to be bleeding, or we don't know what all happened there, and hopefully all of that heals up nicely and it doesn't affect him in any way, but just to take that much abuse can really be life-threatening. And I feel like that was the right decision to make.
Hey, is it more abuse than what we seen with Anthony Joshua and Andy Ruiz? Is it more abuse than what Luis Ortiz gave Deontay Wilder in that fight? I don't think it's more abuse. I don't think Mark should have thrown the towel. That's just my opinion.
I think this particular fight, it was more of abuse. And the fight should have been stopped earlier. With his ear bleeding, that shouldn't be something that you take lightly, because there's several things that could be going on with that person. Unfortunately, if that should happen to a fighter, they should know the fight will be stopped. And it should have, it shouldn't have been something where they didn't take it as something being serious.
We have some comments from our live Facebook, one from Michael Hurt, who says he wasn't ready for that fight. And also, I saw one where someone was talking about when they're working and they're trying to film, they cannot focus when they're trying to work with their family around. Like, when I try to work, if Randa's there, I can't focus sometimes. So I just don't understand how he had his family around that entire time and was able to focus.
You have to look at it. Okay, he's the champion. And when you have a lot of yes people around you and not people that genuinely care for you, people will allow you to make terrible mistakes that could possibly end your career. So I hope he's evaluating everything, and I hope he sees that Coach Mark Breland loves him. Coach Mark Breland loves boxing.
At least that's what it appears to be.
He showed compassion when he threw that towel in because he wanted Deontay Wilder to walk out of the ring and be able to see his children and fiance, wife, whomever, mom, dad, brother, siblings. He wanted them to be able to see him.
That's our belief.
That's our belief.
Yeah.
And to watch Deontay constantly stumble, and it was a bad look on that night. So I once again I congratulate Coach Breland for making an executive decision to throw in the towel. I appreciate him, and he did the best job he could do to protect a fighter who could have possibly ended their own life.
And that's you.
So let me ask y'all this. Let me ask you this. He was 42-0, right? That was his first loss. If he had his family there previously in other training camps, or whatever the case may be, it worked for him then to have 42 wins and 41 knockouts. So why did all of a sudden is family and everything being the topic of discussion as if it matters?
Well, maybe during that time when he had his family there, he didn't do some of the things that you're not supposed to do. Maybe he was disciplined at that time. And you know,
that's speculation. That's speculation there, Randa. Speculation.
Yeah, all of it is
speculations, but what I'm saying, sometimes you can get laxed, which makes you very, very comfortable. And you think that you'll be okay if you should do this when you're not supposed to do that.
Or it could be that every situation is different. And sometimes having people around you is great. And sometimes having people around you is not great.
But I really think his shoes was too high. Looked like he had a heel on his shoe.
Who are you talking about? Who are you talking about? Who are you talking about?
Not Tyson. Wilder's shoes, they look like wedge heel sneakers. That's why I kept asking Dr. I say, his shoes, are they too high? It's something wrong. It is something wrong with Wilder's feet. You don't remember that?
I don't think he would have platform and any type of leveled up boxing screen in there. You know what I'm saying?
That the legs were off.
I'm just playing. I know he had to have on regulated boxing shoes, but the colors, if you don't have on your glasses, you may see something that,
We have Jesse Hearns, who actually is the brother of Tommy Hitman Hearns. He says he took the fight too lightly, and then Mark made the correct decision 100%. Again, that's from Jesse Hearns. And then the statement about I don't like to have my family when I'm doing movies is from Tonio Harris. So there are a lot of different opinions out there.
And that's a solid opinion. That's a solid opinion, of course. I mean, that's a solid opinion if that's what he's think. I beg to differ. I just look at the resume that Wilder, his register of 42 victories, being undefeated. I mean, he's defending his title over 5 years. You had Tay Jones say D has he don't have yes man around him. Neither does he like yes man. What do y'all have to say about that?
Oh, I don't know. Okay, you think he like yes man? He didn't appear to be that type of person when we were touring La Bonner.
Yes,
but he's never appeared to be that type of person. He's always appeared to be a focused person that accepts the truth.
But all things change, and sometimes relationships evolve, and you can start out one way and end up a different way at the end. And just like within a marriage, you may start off rough and rocky, but then eventually you all do well, just like you can start off with everything going well, and then things kind of get rocky toward the end. So I think that just because you know someone and you've seen their history, it doesn't necessarily dictate their future. And so we really can't necessarily, nobody can point to just one thing that happened that night. I believe, overall it was a combination of things, and it was not his night to win. It was Tyson Fury's night to win, and hopefully the next time it will be Deontay's night to win.
Well, let me ask you this, Scotty. Coach Mark Breland, is he second in command or third in command? Or since JD said he was the head coach, who is second or third?
You heard JD say they have somewhat like a format when it comes to team play. They have the coach and they have the offensive and defensive coordinator. He kind of put it out like they all have a say-so in how the ship is ran. You know what I'm saying? That's the point he made. If you look at his interviews, he just don't say, well, I'm making all the calls, I'm doing this. They have a collective voice in that team and how it's ran.
Well, when he said that he was the head coach, that means he's the head coach means that you're first in charge. Who's second in charge and third in charge?
It depends. I figure, Mark Breland has to be somewhere at the top, being that he's in there. His pedigree with the Olympics, former world champions, boxing pedigree. So he has to be. But like JD said, he said they collectively talk as a team. You know what I'm saying? So not one person is just making all the decisions. So if JD says he's the head, I'm not sure, to be honest. I'm not sure who's second in command. But at the point where Mark Breland threw the towel in, he asked JD twice. He asked him twice. He's like, do you want me throwing the towel? JD said no. Do you want me throwing the towel? He said no. It just came to a point where Mark Breland made a decision to do it.
That means JD is the head coach, and I hope when Deontay is reevaluating his team, I hope he moves Coach Mark Breland to head coach position, and I'm going to tell you why. JD he's not a boxer. He's never been a boxer. I think he was into football, which is great. Mark Breland has worked in all areas of boxing, from the amateur levels. I believe he had over 140, 150 fights on the amateur level. He was a Golden Glove boxer. He was a gold medalist, and he was a two-time world champion. So he knows all areas of boxing. He knows how boxing feels. He knows how it feels to win, and he also knows how it feels to lose. And he also knows when it's not your night, and when danger is presently there. And he made the best decision. And I hope Wilder and the rest of the team. I'm not saying JD, because JD is saying he's the head coach. I'm saying he needs to reevaluate who's in position, because Mark Breland made the decision to keep him safe, and that's why he's safe right now.
And I do want to make a comment, because you did ask about when he was in the fight with Ortiz, did it look like that there was even, the same amount of damage going on with that fight? And let me tell you what I see, just from a psychological view, as the major difference between those two fights. Because if you recall, when he fought Luis Ortiz, there was a time when he was literally caught in a whirlwind. Remember?
Round 7.
Yes. And the reason why he was able to go on with that was not because so much of his physical strength, but because of his mental acuity at that time. Even though he was taking all of that, he was able to get back oriented and come back and fight back very quickly. So that would be a good indicator that he's still able and ready to fight. And he pulled himself back together. He was reoriented, and he went on to be victorious in that fight. And then afterwards, he practiced his meditation. and or at least he did for that fight. And
And let me
so
ask you, let me ask
he
y'all this
talked
right
about
quick,
looking.
Street of Twins. When you talking, are you tapping on the table as you talk?
Oh, that was me. I'm sorry.
I'm just
So
saying because it's popping real loud. So I was just,
okay.
I wanted to get the Round the Wide comment, Round the Wide promotion. He said, keep in mind this was round 13 when this fight started. Wilder made no adjustments from the first 12 rounds. He lost round 13, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19, and it was convincingly. Tay Jones said, Tay Jones mentioned that Mark Breeden is second in command. So he said Coach J has been there since day one when he was just wanting to get in shape. He said get in shape for boxing to compete. Wasn't even talked about, so why change coaches now? Don't make sense.
He said what now?
He said Coach J is there since day one. You know how he talks about Deontay walking into the gym and he just wanted to train, to get in shape and also, to possibly start making some money. And he said, so boxing, he wanted to get in shape first and foremost to compete. So talking about, so why change coaches now? Don't make sense.
It makes a lot of sense because for JD to sit there and say, not throwing a towel, obviously you don't know when your fighter is about to be hurt or he's hurt and not thinking properly.
Yes.
And at that time, well, I'm going to say this.
He seemed quite disoriented.
You pay your coaches and your cornermen not only to be your second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth eye, you also pay them to protect you. They're looking for things that you cannot see. And Mark Breland saw what JD didn't see. And I think he should come to terms to know he really shouldn't be in that position if he cannot make the best decision for their body. That's why you have so many fighters out here that's messed up because their cornerman or the cornerman, the coach, whomever, did not make the proper decision for that fighter's best interest.
Yeah.
And I know people are used to seeing Wilder come back and throw this big punch that ends the fight. At this particular fight was different. Tyson Fury was throwing a lot of combinations. Wilder was not giving it back.
Yes, and he was not putting all of his weight on him.
He was not returning the favor. And in response to Dr. K's statement about Tyson Fury putting his weight on him, he was putting his weight on Deontay Wilder to tire him out, and also,
which he did successfully.
But also, Scotty, you know what we know, what happens when you're clinching onto a fighter. There are other when you're clinching onto your opponent, you can do other things that everybody else can't see.
Yeah, like the head locks and everything.
With the shoulder, head, well, not really head butt and shoulder butt, basically. With shoulder to head.
You can get in 3 little quick ones right quick before anybody even sees it. So you're still taking on that damage.
Well,
look, it was a dirty fight. It was in pockets. It was dirty fights, dirty parts of the fight. And that's boxing though. It depends on what referee you got in there.
Jesse Hearns, who is Tommy Hearns' brother, he stated when he was on tour with Tommy Hearns, there was no family, wife, girlfriend, etc. around the whole time. They were in training. They were in training camp. And then he also stated, no one in our camp was allowed to have female visitors or girlfriends while in training until the weigh-in. Everyone was welcome. So the rules haven't changed. Of course, it changed. It changed a couple of months ago.
Everybody got different rules now. Everybody got different rules.
Because I mean, that was a parade. We've done that walk across the MGM.
We did it with
heels on, and Miranda had to physically be picked up. I mean, that's how long that walk is.
Well, Scotty, my feet
she had foot surgery.
They were not ready, and I really wanted to wear these beautiful pair of shoes,
which were cute in her hands.
They were gorgeous on
in her hands.
They were gorgeous on my shoulder.
But yeah, it's a long walk.
But look, speaking of long walks, right? While the walk across the MGM Grand, I mean, that's a walk he's made before. He made the same walk for Luis Ortiz. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the walk. He didn't have the suit on. He didn't have the suit on when he was making that walk.
With a 40-pound Darth Vader.
The other suit he had.
But he wasn't walking across the MGM Grand in the suit, though.
Was just as heavy, and he's down garment on when he's training. Okay. So that's a bunch of hogwash reference to the suit being heavy. I think that was something quick to say to give a response to the quote unquote question. Why did your legs
put it out in the media?
Yeah. But I just think
I want to get to some of the comments there. Swedish Wins. William O say, never in all my years watching boxing have I heard American heavyweight champion booed by his own people. AJ26 says awful. Wonder how Wilder felt about being booed by his own people. Team
were there. I don't think a lot of Wilder's people were there. Yes. First of all, and also I hope Wilder, when I keep saying making assessments, changing. I've noticed since Wilder has been in the heavyweight championship position, he is not being marketed like he should. There makes no sense. Tyson Fury can come to America and he is the household name for everybody here when we have a heavyweight great person,
an Olympic champion,
and people still do not
He's not
know
a household name
or recognize his name.
I haven't seen him on the Wheaties box.
That's just ridiculous.
It's not too many champions on the Wheaties box. Anthony Pettis.
And it doesn't have to be on the Wheaties box, but what I'm using that as like a cliche for, he should be a household name, and a lot of people should know who he is and know what he's about, and they just don't. I think more people know about him now, but prior to the first Fury fight, people really did not know who he was, and they didn't get a chance to really experience the great he is, because he's a really great guy. He has a great story. He's an Olympian, and people need to know that story. And I agree with you, Randa. A lot of his people were not at that weigh-in. They were not. Even when we decided not to go to this fight, and I'm glad we didn't go in person.
We felt like
I would have.
But a lot of his people was in California.
We felt like,
a lot of his people was in California the first time they fought, though.
I know.
Listen, when he fought Luis Ortiz, people was rooting for Deontay Wilder because you had Deontay Wilder, a black fighter, and Luis
American
fighter. So they was rooting for Deontay Wilder. It's not like it can't happen. But in the Staples Center, he was in there with Tyson Fury, and the same boos happened. They cheered Tyson Fury, came in Apollo Creed, and then they booed Deontay Wilder for what it looked like from the screen.
I have to disagree with you. Scott, I have to disagree with you in reference to Tyson Fury won. Tyson Fury and Wilder one fight that was in LA at the Staples Center. I believe there were, I think, even amount of Wilder fans and Tyson Fury fans.
Yeah, I think it was about even there.
With this second fight, they did not play up Wilder like they should. They played up Tyson Fury because, first of all, they did not want Wilder to win that belt, the WBC belt, first of all. Now, so in LA, because he did knock
And
Tyson Fury out. I mean, he knocked him down twice, and they did not count correctly, so they could say it was a draw. It would have been ended because of a TKO.
It should have been, because
Well, I still think he was booed. I still think Deontay Wilder, from what it looked like on TV, that he was booed
No,
much more than Tyson Fury.
no, I don't recall that.
I don't remember saying he was booed in that one.
And all of his fights up until Tyson Fury won. I mean, yeah, the fight between Wilder and Fury won. There were no boos against Wilder. There were no boos.
In fact, people were ecstatic when they saw, when everybody thought Deontay had won. The place went crazy. I do think, however, that the expectations for Wilder were different than the expectations were for Tyson Fury. And what I mean by that is Tyson, that fight was a draw. And people were going on as if he actually won. And so it's almost like how they, kind of do our current president. If he gets on television and he doesn't curse or just say something totally outlandish, then he's done a great job. And so the same thing happened there with Deontay, because everybody was going on and on saying Fury was the greatest fighter at the end, not because he won, but because he didn't lose. He tied. And so I think that made the hill.
He really didn't tie.
It made the hill harder for Deontay to climb, because here he is. He actually sort of kind of won, but in the end, it's looking like he's the underdog.
He won. He won, and he did not receive what he should have gotten. I'm just going to say that. They miscounted to keep it at a draw, at an even level.
That's how it looked at the time.
That's what's on paper. A draw.
Yeah, a draw is on paper.
Means nobody won.
Yeah,
or they were
we were there, and all the people around us counted many more seconds.
Yes,
than the second.
I mean, even Tyson Fury's. We were sitting with his family, and they thought he had lost because of Fury, being knocked out. And
very nice people.
Yeah, they were not very nice people. And at the end, I said, "May the best man win."
Yeah, and
that's what you do. You want the best person to win, not someone that did not deserve to win, because you're putting your life on the line. And if it's going to be if boxing is going to be pushed or placed in a box where judges can just say, well, okay, make sure the referee
one Mississippi.
Wait a minute, no, not only that, when they're counting, they may say, when you count, add 2 seconds in between
and
each count.
Ask some questions.
No, which means he'll get up by the time you get to the final count. And that's the part that's discouraging. And
how it looked. We don't know.
We don't really know, but
so if you're talking about the lone count, right? If you're talking about the lone count, so you saying Deontay should have won the first one, be a knockout?
And the conversation.
It was a long count.
And the conversation.
So he should have won the first one, be a knockout, right?
Got up from the dead like a zombie.
He did this. Scotty, this is what he did.
1 Mississippi cackalacky wacky quacky.
And then he did this.
2.
And then he did what I have a little dog named Scotty. He's a miniature Yorkie. Then Tyson Fury did this. And then he popped up like nothing happened.
So you trying to say Deontay Wilder should have won the first fight, be a knockout?
What?
So Deontay Wilder should have won the first fight via knockout.
Yeah.
It's the core about it and follow rules and regulations to the T. can lose all rounds and get to the 12th round and knock the other knock the
Shout out Ohio
fighter that
Run
was.
Boxing.
Hey, there was an audible gasp when Fury got up. Like everybody was kind of in shock.
Y'all going out again.
They thought
they stated that people felt like Tyson Fury won because of not letting that knockout keep him down.
right.
So they took that as
So
a sign of winning.
He won the popular vote. he won the popular vote. But that's not how this goes. That's not how any of this goes, right? Anyway.
Ohio Run Boxing in the building. I want to get some of the comments right quick.
Yes.
AJ26 says Stitch Duran made a nonsensical response to the glove allegations. Ohio Run Boxing in the building. Ron and Finkley say they did not respect the decision of how you have to take the champ belt convincingly. You know, basically saying if he was the champ, Tyson Fury has to take it convincingly. But the referee, in a lot of eyes, was close to stopping the fight. And Mark Breland just threw the towel and beat him. You know, I mean, it's a lot of controversy that's going to stem all the way until they step in the ring again. Ronald Finkley said they didn't respect the decision of how you have to take the champ belt, which I agree. Ohio Runs Boxing said, "What's good, everybody?" Ronald Finkley, I am pissed about the towels. Second time around, I kind of agree that Mark Breland should have held on the towel. He violated the orders that was given on the team. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? Hey, the champ has won 42 fights. Why throw in the towel right now? And he was in trouble with Luis Ortiz. Ronald Finkley said, King Ebenezer, you wasn't there. I bet that was also controlled out by corporate entities. I mean, I kind of agree. You know, they had a strong UK presence there in Vegas. You know, AJ26 says, Young Pharaoh. Okay, that's somebody else.
With Scotty.
My bad. All right.
With Scotty, didn't you know something else at the press conference? When they were interviewing PBC and Top Rank. If you're looking closely now, Top Rank has the heavyweight champion of the world that represents Top Rank. They also have Terrence Crawford. He's the middleweight champion. I mean, they have Shakur Stevenson. What is he? Featherweight, lightweight. So far, Top Rank
Featherweight
seems to have all the champions now. Mm-hmm. You know, PBC. Who do they have? I mean, of course, we know they have some people, but
they got Errol Spence. Errol Spence is in there. You know what I'm saying? He's a WBC IBF welterweight.
That's right. You got with Gervonta is actually with Mayweather Promotions. Okay. Yeah, I'm talking about fighters that are actually PBC. Specifically PBC. So,
but he followed PBC promotion though. And Gervonta followed PBC promotion.
I forgot. Now look, I got on Adrian
Broner's hat. Yeah,
the problem. I love Adrian Broner. You cannot say anything about Adrian Broner. I don't care if he's doing wrong. We love Adrian Broner.
We tapped into his greatness years ago.
How did you get on Adrian Broner?
What did you say, Scotty?
No, we ain't talking about Adrian Broner tonight. No. Heck no.
All right.
Heck no.
Because Adrian won. Pacquiao did not win that fight.
I'm out of that.
Adrian.
Don't y'all start tripping. That's too late to be doing this. you know darn well Adrian didn't win that fight, man. He did it for the hood, though. He did it for the hood.
On topic. Oh.
well, just like Adrian said, if you looked at Pacquiao's face, whose face was swollen and injured? It wasn't Adrian Broner's face.
I'm not in it. I'm not in this conversation.
Y'all have any closing words?
Runs boxing, nothing like beautiful women who are they're talking boxing. Thank you so much, Ohio Runs Boxing. That's right.
Shout out to Ohio Run Boxing, of course. You know what I'm saying? Salute to you.
We love Coach Mike Stafford and
Yeah.
Man, the best cut man in that.
But I do want to make this blanket statement. The gentle, everyone has always been just so kind to us, never spoken with us. They've taken pictures, they've given us interviews. They have always been very, very gracious to us. So I think when we're talking about boxers, although it's a brutal sport, we have not experienced them to be brutes outside of the ring. They have been gentlemen.
Hello? Who?
To
Y'all going in and out again?
And to make that we're slowing everybody down, but we are talking about human beings who are, when it's all said and done, they're out there trying to make money for their families, and this is their livelihood. And so we try to remember that in everything we do when we with the fighters. Yeah.
Hey, outstanding. It's always a pleasure to have the Street Twins on.
Totally opposite what you just said. What'd you say, Scotty?
I said it's always a pleasure to have you all on, being that you all been a part of boxing, and y'all in the process of bringing more exposure to the Memphis regional footprint in boxing. For those of you that's tuned in, be sure to check them out later on this year, as they're going to put on their first professional card. They've been basically doing amateur cards, so be on the lookout for that. Do y'all have any closing words for your supporters?
We've been working on both sides of it. The amateur level, we work on that level to keep us aware of what's coming up the ranks.
And our initial reasoning for getting into it was to grow and create a cadre of boxers. And you have to start with the amateurs so that when it's time for the professionals to choose, they will have a good group of people to choose from. We didn't really have a large enough group, so we wanted to affect change from the bottom to the top.
And we were also advised that if we wanted a strong boxing network in this area, you need to make sure that the amateur level is running properly. Mm-hmm. So you have something to choose from.
Mm-hmm. So Memphis is ready. Memphis is ready for boxing, and boxing is ready for Memphis. So that's my final thing.
And they're already ready for the Street Twins to take over.
Oh yeah.
Hey, it's been a pleasure. We will talk again. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for tuning in to World Combat Sports.
They're watching us.
And they're throwing their hands at no. But the next time we're gonna make them say a couple of words.
Yeah, there are lots and lots and lots.
Because
and lots of
we have this one cousin, Cherry. She said a whole lot before the screen. She had a whole lot to say.
Yeah. But we have a great family, and we have a great family, and we know that Memphis has a lot of true boxing fans and people who were boxing and people who know about boxing. So whenever we come, I promise you, we're going to come correct.
And some of the best dressed in the building.
Thank you, Scotty. Thank you so much. But today is, it's just
And what you talking about? Y'all know that.
I do have on matching sneakers though. They should have put.
I do have on sparkly gold boots.
Hey, appreciate it there, ladies. Hey, until next time, y'all have a wonderful week. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great
to talk with you. Have a good
All right,
night.
you too. Thanks.
All right. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye, Facebook friends.
Bye, Facebook friends. Love you all. Peace.
Salute to the Streeter Twins for shopping through. And once again, that was Streeter Twins Boxing Promotions and also SNS Matchmakers. You know what I'm saying? They doing it big up in boxing. If you don't know who they are, you just met them and everything. So check them out. They're out of Memphis, Tennessee. They've been around the sport for quite some time, man, extensively. I like the feedback that I was getting in the chat. Ronald Winkley said, Ronald Finkley. If y'all put comments up here with vulgarity in it, YouTube is gonna automatically hold it. Because that's the filter that I have up in there. And they're kind of strict on excessive vulgarity, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I try to get on here and keep it clean just a bit, just with a little suds or whatever. Ohio Run Boxing, man, what is good? Salute to you, man. He said nothing like beautiful women who talking boxing. Ohio trying to shoot his shot. I hear you. I see you. Ronald Finkley said exactly. PBC welterweight division is stacked. Also 154. Yeah, PBC got some fighters up in there, man. They have the Errol Spence, Charlo brothers. Even though they got lines there in promotion, they still on the PBC. I'm talking about Jamel Charlo, Errol Spence. So they have champions right there. I'm pretty sure they have several other champions just over there. They did have Andy Ruiz, but Andy Ruiz decided to go back in there overweight and deconditioned. So he didn't want to defend his belts the right way. Ohio Runs Boxing. They love those Ohio boys. Ronald Finkley. AB pissed me off. Finkley, they wilding. AJ 26. Wilder wasn't kidding when he said we still fighting to this day. We are. We are still fighting. A lot of people, they cast it out. They want you to just jealous in the fact that it still goes on in boxing. But guess what? Black fighters and Mexican fighters have been in the sport of boxing for a long time. And that's what we see. You see more of a Mexican presence in certain regional footprints. And then you have seen Mexican champions rise up to the top and dominate, just like you're seeing black champions, black fighters rise up to the top. Periodically, you will see European fighters come over here and get it in, and run. You will see them, but they can come over here with less credentials than, say, a fighter that's black or Mexican because of the number. And they can come in here with less credentials and get more notoriety only because they are not a part of the how you put it. They're not a part of the larger group of ethnicities that are running boxing right now. They come over here, something different. I'm not saying it's never been seen before, but it's something different. All they have to do is have the right credentials, pretty good resume, and then they step on the scene and people want to jump behind them. I remember when HBO boxing was still on deck. Jim Lampley. I'm telling you, all Triple G had to do was breathe, and he threw 6-punch combinations unlike anything he ever seen before. He hyped up Gennady Golovkin so bad. It was just raw bias for boxing fans, man. It was raw bias. And, it's good that, he's not in that position to do that anymore, because guess what? Triple G, with all the extensive amateurs, miles that put on these fighters, is showing out, is basically surfacing as we know it right now. You have Gennady Golovkin, that's like 37. He has miles on his body. You have Vasily Lomachenko, though he's extremely athletic, all right, he is still one of those fighters who is showing the wear and tear of an extensive amateur career. I don't know what people are looking at. They keep on mentioning Nicholas Waters, Luke Campbell. They want to mention all these people like Postal and Linares. But man, come on. I know he won the championship, his third professional fight. But if you're going to talk about Deontay Wilder's resume, you got to talk about Vasily Lomachenko. You got to talk about freaking Gennady Golovkin, who's been in the middleweight division for the longest of time. You can talk about all the fighters. But let me tell you this. The records of these fighters are always going to be up for debate. It's always going to be people that look at these records and they really don't know the entire layout of boxing. They haven't been to a regional card. They don't know how tough it is from the ground floor. So they'll say, "Oh, look who have they fought? Who have they fought?" If you come to me and ask a fighter, right? I didn't have a chance to get through what I was talking about, but we had a conversation this weekend where we was talking about someone who's mentioned who has Deontay Wilder fought. Now you have to look at the entire heavyweight division, and you have to understand maybe the first 4 to 5 may be legitimate ranked fighters, but you're not going to get 1 through 50 of raw, solid competition to go in there and defend and work their way up to the top. It's always going to be people on the outside that have no familiarity with the top 20. They don't know. Just say, for instance, when Errol Spence fought Carlos Ocampo, no one know who the heck Carlos Ocampo is, but he somehow became the mandatory, right? No one know who he is. If boxing wants to reach down in the bucket and pull out a mandatory, they can do it. People need to kind of cease the talk saying, who has they fought? Who have they fight? I hear it too often. They can say it about Mikey Garcia, 4-division champion. You know what I'm saying? You're going to say it about Vasily Lomachenko, 3-division champion. They're going to say it. They have said it about Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford comes to the welterweight division. He steps in there with Jeff Horn, a WBO champion at the time. Was he undefeated? Didn't he just come off with freaking Manny Pacquiao? So he steps in there, he wins the WBO belt, and people's like, he ain't fought nobody. We can say the same thing about Errol Spence. Leading up to his fight with Kell Brook, who has Errol Spence fought? I don't want to hear no Chris Algieri. Don't do it. Even though I have mad respect for Chris Algieri. I do. But leading up to Kell Brook, you tell me, how long was Errol Spence in the welterweight division? He didn't start off a welterweight, but he dropped down to welterweight after fighting junior middle. So tell me the names that you see on his resume up to Kell Brook. That's top 5. It's across the board, people. You need to jump outside your comfort zone and using the same lingo, the same language and verbiage all across the board. Who they fought. No, you got to break that shit down a lot more than that. You got to do your research. Boxing is never going to have a world that consists of human beings, male or female, that's coming into the sport of boxing that's just tearing it up. You're not going to get the same reaction Mike Tyson gave you. Everybody ain't born like that. That's why you have boxers, you have brawlers, you have punchers, you have everybody with their specialty. You're not going to have boxers just coming in here wrecking shop. You're not going to do it. Ronald Finkley, thank you again, man, for the donation. Truly appreciate it. Ronald Finkley said, put the link in the chat. And I don't mind putting a link in the chat if y'all gonna get on here and say something positive, that's conducive, rather not positive. You have your opinion, but conducive. You know what I'm saying? To the chat. That's all I want. You get on here trolling, I don't know what to tell you. Ohio Run Boxing, man. Thank you very much for the donation, my brother. I appreciate it. And William Old School said, peace out, everyone. Got to get up in the AM. Salute to you, man. Have a great week, bro. Go out there and handle business, man. Have a great week. You know what it is. For those of you that tuned in tonight and smashed that thumbs up button, truly appreciate the World Combat Sports. Appreciate it. Real talk. And I want to again give a shout out to Stokes Promotion, man. Andrew Stokes Promotion up in Columbia, South Carolina. Just came back from covering that card. 15 fight hitter. And I will be posting pics that I've taken, you know, with the action of those particular fights, man. I visit these grassroots fights. I really hope to be able to, you know, kind of branch out, you know, put my roots into different areas of boxing regions. You know what I'm saying? But like I can tell you, South Carolina has supported me. I truly thankful for that. But I am looking to branch out to different boxing footprints. You know what I'm saying? But y'all have to understand, like, I'm not in boot camp no more with this media. I'm not in boot camp. It was a time where I was just going to anything and everything. But understand this, fighters who tuned in, do me a favor. Understand one thing. If I put your pics up there, right? I don't mind if you use them. Even though they have my watermark on it. The watermark is the brand. All right. We're talking about me going to here shooting. The watermark is the brand. Just don't go out there and alter the pic and don't give a site or anything to the freaking originator who snapped the shot. That's what I'm talking about. Like, if you want to crop out the watermark, then that's an issue with you as a fighter not understanding how important media is. Because if I've seen pictures out there where people crop out the watermark, and what that does, like if you hit me in the inbox and you want me to send you the pictures that you didn't pay for, respect the fact that I'm giving you the pictures. Respect the fact on what I'm doing. I'm not in boot camp no more. All I want for you fighters is to give a site, man, World Combat Sports. I put you at the exposure, the fighter. I put you out there for the exposure. And you in turn do the same for the media outlet that took the picture. That's how it works. You know, that's how it works. That's the protocol and respect. You know, I think Ronald Winkley is here. Let me let him chime in. Hey, Ronald Finkley. Hey, what's good, man? You in? Can you hear?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, man. What's good with you? Welcome aboard. Salute to you.
Salute, bro. My name is Ronald Finkley.
I know. I corrected myself. I was calling you Ronald Winkley, and I said Ronald Finkley. My bad, man. I stand corrected.
When I was saying put the link in the chat, I was saying because of the females, because like you said, they like have their own thing going on in Memphis. I was just trying to like connect with them, like as far as like seeing what they talking about in Memphis, because the way I look at boxing is like you gotta like know how to like see all parts of boxing on all states. You see what I'm saying? Like Ohio run boxing in the chat, and then I found out about Memphis and the ladies, and it's like, and like it's a lot of people that like that I support and respect in boxing, especially you, because I seen you at the fight World Combat Sport, like when you saw Deontay go out the tunnel and then he went back in the tunnel, and I saw you was right there to support, and like, and you got all that great footage. And that's what yeah, man, that's what I respect about boxing, World Combat Sport, because we see the things from like new media.
Yeah,
you see them like, and hey, man, it is what it is, and like, and that's how the youngins come back to boxing, is because of people like you, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I tried to, man. It was a time that I was on the grind, man, every other freaking week. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, it was tough. But I like the regional level because that's where all the diamonds at in boxing. But
yeah,
the regional levels, you know as well as I do, you have some good fights and you have some really bad fights. But if you want to learn about boxing, you have to embed yourself on the regional level. You know what I'm saying? Because up there at Top Rank and Showtime, That's easy work. That's cake. You know, because you're very limited. You know, you're very limited. I don't know why you keep muting. You there?
No, I had to mute because my girl's friend came in.
Oh, my fault. Okay, my fault.
Yeah, I was just trying to be respectful.
No doubt.
Well, yeah, you know, like I grew up with boxers. I grew up with John Brown from Atlantic City. I grew up with Lavanda Johnson, rest in peace. But they were world title holders. So like when I see like other people, like the chick said, they know people out of Memphis. I see like all of y'all. It's like it ain't just about the pros. It's about the you know, like you said, the prospects and the amateur levels too. To like bring them, you know, to so we can give them notice early on. So and that's what brings young people back to boxing because you already, you know, making sure that they have a fan base. You know what I mean?
Hey, that's what it's all about there, Ronald Finkler. I totally agree, man. You know, but you know, on this regional level, it's some fighters who are receptive to get the exposure, and some who are absolutely not on board with it. You know what I'm saying? Like you try to tell them, hey, you know, give them an interview, and they like, nah. You know, so I'm like, okay, and I just go to the ones who are receptive and motivated to get their name out there.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna get off now, but that's what I wanted to chime in on World Combat Sports.
Hey, absolutely, man. It's always a pleasure. Thanks. And drop back through, man. Whenever you want to drop in, just let me know, man. Appreciate the support always.
Oh, most definitely. You know, I've been following you for like 2 years, bro. I watch all the good people, bro.
Hey, I truly appreciate it, my brother. Thank you.
All right, one. And I shared it already, so that's what it is.
I salute for sure, man. Appreciate that.
All right, peace.
Have a good one, bro. Peace. That was Ronald Finkley in the building. I appreciate the pull up, you know, to talk that boxing. Real talk, you know, conducive content. I mean, I know it's not gonna always be that way, but it's good to get individuals on here that actually follow the sport and have some, you know, productive content to put up here. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's about. You know, Ohio Run Boxing, man. Been knowing him for quite a minute. He goes into the regional card. He's on deck. You know, he's putting in the work, you know, out there in Ohio. So I always got my support. Salute to him. Randall Wyatt dropped by earlier from Wyatt Promotions. He's out there in Ohio too, man. He just was in Nashville, Tennessee with Rashid Warren. You know, it was Coach Levi that was out there. I mean, they was deep out there, man. And Rashid Baby Pit Warren went in there and got the win. You know, he ended up getting the win. I was trying to read some of the comments that was coming in from Facebook. But yeah, I just wanted to, you know, get on here and talk about that situation with Deontay Wilder. I'm not speaking for his team by no means, okay? But I do respect the fact that listen, this is the only thing I can tell you about it. From the opportunity that I was able to get from the 2 times that I was in this training camp, and what I've seen with him at regional fight cards, those regional fight cards being JD's, who throws his own fight cards in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. He had a thrill at the Bobby Miller, I believe, and also he did another one, you know, the Hall of Fame, where he had Ernie Shavers, Vander Holyfield. You know, he had some heavy hitters, some legends up in the building. And then also he had some of the rising prospects out of that regional footprint too, like Deion Equalizer Nicholson, who just fought on PBC. He fought Earl Newman for the first time, went 10 rounds. Fight of the night, should have been on the main card. But it's fighters like him that you see on the regional level, and then you follow them, extra talent, and they coming up through the ranks. you want to put that lens on them because they have what it takes to be a superstar. So I've seen the champ Deontay Wilder and some of his team. I've seen his brother Marcellus Wilder, fight. He has had his ups and downs in his career. But I'm gonna tell you this, and I'm not just making it up. After one of his losses, we was in NYC, and I walked up to him. He ain't never met me before. This is Marcellus Wilder. He wasn't an asshole. He wasn't none of that. I talked to him about his fight. He did an interview with me. It wasn't none of this, nah, man, get out of my face. I don't want to talk about nothing. No, it was never like that, man. That's why I can't understand why people just dogging these fighters out like Deontay Wilder and his family. I don't get it. Like his brother gets stopped and people just lighting up the torches already and just dogging him out. I walked up to Marcellus on the street when he was waiting for his brother Deontay to get in. And I asked him, basically about his boxing career, his fight, always cool. I mean, absolutely cool. He talked about his stoppage, everything. I saw him in camp when I was in Tuscaloosa before his last fight. Same thing. Straight up respectful, no problem. I seen Deontay Wilder on regional levels, man. Talk to fans. This is real talk. You can't say I'm making it up because I have video, I have footage and all that. I've seen him and his team talk, give interviews. I've seen the champ sitting up here with kids doing bomb squad over and over again, interviews after interviews, taking pictures and all that. So why all the criticism online that he's a bum and all that? You can't get that from me. Look, you're not going to get that from me because when I had the opportunity to lens the moment with Deontay Wilder, his team, JD's on his fight card, Deontay on his fight cards, I just don't see where y'all think this man is freaking inept. His boxing skills are the way they are. He was born the way he was, and his skill is the way they are. That ain't gonna change to this transformed boxer, this technical boxer. It ain't gonna happen. He's gonna have to make sure he just come in here with a different game plan on how to make his strengths work for him to get the win. That's all he has to do because he's proven he can go 12 rounds with Tyson Fury before. So whatever discrepancies he had on February 22nd, they just need to go back to the drawing board, get in the gym where he's been, put their heads together and come up with a different plan. Whatever changes they have to make, I'm pretty sure they're going to make it. But for those of you that's just finding it easy and you drop me on the inbox, listen, I'll tell you again. I will tell you again. Grown ass man, stop putting stuff out there like, especially black fight fans to black media. Stop saying people dick riders. Stop saying we clout chasing and all this other shit. I did 20 years in the military. Who am I clout chasing? I'm raising my kid right now. I'm up here doing media solo dolo. Ask anybody who see me. I'm by myself doing this stuff. I edit my own stuff. I may not have the highest platform. You know what I'm saying? But I'm out here grinding, man. I do my research on boxing and MMA. If I did strictly boxing, it'll just be lethal. Seriously, I'd be a problem. But I have to study boxing and MMA. I have to do what my passion is. Also, I have to learn about grappling. I have to tune in and listening to what I'm seeing. I have to know what I'm seeing. Let me get to some of the comments. M. Grade 1964 says Marcellus still fighting. Marcellus just came off a fight. He just came off a fight and he lost, So they're gonna have to go back and try to figure it out because Marcellus was winning that fight before he got stopped. He was. Marcellus was winning that fight. I was watching it. I was there, actually. Eric Murray said the Magic Man Antonio Tarver needs to step and help Deontay Wilder rise again. I saw that post out there from the Magic Man Antonio Tarver. A lot of people don't know about Antonio Tarver, who he was as a fighter. A man that never went down, never been cut actually. You know, he won the trilogy between him and Roy Jones. A lot of people don't know him and Roy Jones fought a trilogy. It was 2-1. Antonio Tarver. He's not the most exciting fighter, but man, I'm telling you, his boxing knowledge is thorough, legitimate. People liked him and people that didn't like him, just like Roy Jones. But damn good point, Eric. Damn good point. Ronald Finkley said, we support the sport. Eric Murray said, I bet Deontay Wilder is a good fighter and a person. He can make improvements like any other fighter. Tarver and Breland brings that out. Listen, it's people out there that can help him. He has a lot of day one, and he has a lot of people that he trusts that worked out great up to the point of whatever happened February 22nd. What I can't respect is the people that's acting like they didn't have a plan for 42 victories. You acting like the man never had a plan, stepping into the ring with 42 victories and 41 knockouts. You trying to say the man didn't have a plan just because of one loss? But yet I don't see the same criticism for when Anthony Joshua lost his belts and he looked terrible. Anthony Joshua looked absolutely terrible. I know I use him as a comparison. You know why? Because he's a high-ranking heavyweight champion. I use him as a comparison because a lot of people was hyping him up and he lost. He not only lost, but he lost bad. Then you turn to Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury was undefeated. The only good fight, the real good fight he had was when he was in there with Deontay Wilder. And then this recent one that he had. Ronald Finkley said, no clout chasing, support the sport, just like we support our family. I wish everybody had that attitude, man. You know, just support the sport. And, you know, I can, one thing you have to understand, those of you that's tuned in, right? And if you're a black fighter, I'm just saying it to black fighters because this is what I experienced. If you have somebody that you may not know the background to, they're motivated. Don't get motivation confused with someone that's just trying to hang out. That's the worst thing you can do. And shout out to Ronald Finkley, man, for the $5 donation. Appreciate that. Appreciate it, man. Real talk. The grind is hard. I appreciate the support, man. You have to understand, you don't get motivation twisted. Don't get it twisted with somebody that's just trying to hang out. Man, it's no way you ever, I don't care if you step in the ring or not. You know, when I hear people talking about, you know, certain media, black media, and you will hear a fighter that's really about the culture, but they really don't know anything about your background, right? They say, oh, so-and-so clout chasing. He always trying to get an interview. What are we supposed to do? If I'm taking a picture, what am I supposed to do on media? If I ask permission respectfully, if I say sir behind it, then I'm a square, right? Right. But I'm giving you respect in the media. I want the interview, and not every question is going to be an easy question. People don't like you to be nice all the time and overlook what's actually going on. So when I see you in person, the boxers who I know, this relate to them. When I see you in person and I'm basically communicating, I'm being respectful, man to man. Don't ever get on here and say World Combat Sports clout chasing. Come on, man. Don't do that to yourself. Don't say I'm freaking sitting up here trying to hang out. I ain't trying to hang out. I'm not trying to hang out with none of y'all, for real. Unless it's something that's truly genuine. I'm here to cover the sport of boxing and treat the sport with respect, with all the, you know, vitriol and venom and toxicity that's going on in the sport. Anyway, back to the comments. AJ26 said, wanted to see Wilder versus Joshua. I'm gonna repeat that again. Wanted to see Wilder versus Joshua. The fight has been in the making for over a year. AJ26, man, me and you both. I wanted to see Wilder and AJ back in 2018. I remember I said this before on all these freaking groups that was advocating for Anthony Joshua and wouldn't dare advocate for Deontay Wilder. They wouldn't dare. They just wanted to see Anthony Joshua become undisputed. You will hear, look, you will have admins influencing their members that's constantly active on the thread to support Anthony Joshua. Then when you have members consistently going in and using obscenities and degrading comments to describe Wilder, and the admins aren't doing anything about it, they say, oh, it's just freedom of speech. They just based an opinion. Look, this got so bad in one group that they was calling the man a monkey. They was calling him racial tendency. And then a black admin that's in that group, we had a conversation. I say, check this out. So you're not kicking out a member that's using, like, encouraging other members to do the same thing and using racial epithets, right? You don't have a problem with that. And she must have had bad relationships with men, black men, because she said it's just an opinion. Why are you so mad about that? I said, I'm not mad. I'm just making the point. I thought there has to be some type of rules and protocols to this. And she was like, it's just their opinion on what they think of them. That is the convoluted. I'm not even gonna get into it, but she know who she is. The worst individual. She is the worst. And she's out here some of these fight cards too. They're absolutely worst. I can tell she's been scorned or whatever the case may be. For her to be up here accepting that on anyone, it's horrendous, man. Rashid, what's good, man? Salute to you. He said Wilder didn't have a plan for repeatedly getting clubbed behind the head and being choked whole throughout the fight. Solid point. We all know as boxing fans that it was a dirty fight. And the one that was being dirty was Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury was headlocking Deontay Wilder, leaning on him. Now, granted, we see that in boxing. We see it. We see the dirty tactics. We see it enough for the referee to stay in control of the fight. Tyson Fury was always headlocking Deontay Wilder opposite of the side that the referee was on. Hitting behind the head. Everything he can possibly do. But if you talk to other fighters that's not a Deontay Wilder fan, they're like, oh, that's boxing. That's boxing. But for a person that doesn't like prognosticate negativity, right? If it was Deontay Wilder doing the same thing and who outweighed Tyson Fury, they would say, oh, Deontay's a dirty fighter. He was doing anything and everything to win and keep his belt. But Tyson Fury was the one to come in 273, and he went in there and used every tactic possible to his disposal. Every tactic. The only thing he didn't do is basically take his hand out the glove. It was almost out the glove. You know what I'm saying? The only thing he didn't do is take his hand out the glove, slide on some brass knuckles, and take a punch, and then put his glove back on. And ask anybody, did they see it? You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing. It was a dirty, grimy fight. But I will tell you this, like I would say, Deontay got outboxed that night. I really don't have the resources or the qualifications to say, well, I'm not going to examine that he did anything or the way his legs was. But I can tell you this, if you all believe it was a uniform issue, you go right ahead, man. Because this is the way I explain that. If a man is born with freakish strength, right? And he has the stature and the aesthetics of a basketball player. He's tall, slender, in shape, conditioned. He's blessed with ultimate power to be one of the hardest hitting heavyweight champions, the hardest hitter in boxing, okay? He comes in here and wins 42 victories with the freakish, innately gift that he was blessed with. That's what he was blessed with. How is a suit walking to the ring is going to actually change that? That's a strong dude. Rashid, thank you for the comment, man. And that's a solid point. You know, he was getting clubbed behind the head. And also, you know, I'm disappointed in Kenny Bayless just a bit with losing control of the fight in pockets. You got to do better than that, my man. You know, I know you've been around the game, but God damn it. Man, that the magnitude of that fight, man, depended on you, Kenny Bayless. And you did your job, but I'm just saying, Tyson Fury was getting away with the first 48, 49, and the 50. Eric Murray said, let's call it a spade. Joshua is more media polished, but Wilder has a stigma because he is from the South. Bottom line, the media loves Joshua proper English. Let me talk about, and that's a very good point, Eric Murray. Let me talk about the proper English. People believe that the English have proper English because of their accent. If you put them without the accent to us over here in the US and just have different layers of the English language, which is peeled back in its own way, which is grainy, shredded, because the English language is one of the language that has been broken down in many facets. It's just too many microcosms that doesn't fit the perfect criteria of speaking English. So when they hear the English speak it, they just like the accent rather than everything that's coming out there. When Tyson Fury say, you know, I will die and continue to fight with me own hands. Do you think if I was to get on here and say, listen, I got me mic is in front of me, you would say, hey, bro, what's me mic? You hear the Furies tell all these stories, call each other wanker, dosser, bums, and all this stuff, and cunts, and people laugh. But have a regular, just an average American come on here and use those same insults, it's going to be criticism behind it. But you get an English fighter, and like Eric said, he believes it's proper English. Now, comparable to Deontay Wilder, he may consider proper English to be as such. I get where you coming, country slang. I get it. I'm from the South. I get what you're saying, Eric. But for me, for Anthony Joshua, let's not forget that Anthony Joshua is Nigerian, okay? If he resided in a place over there in London, right, for quite some time, and he picked up the whole entire dialect and the way they speak and the mannerisms of behavior, I get it. I was over in Japan for quite some time, and to speak to Japanese, you have to kind of put your mannerisms, you know, a little bit different. You know, you'd be like, Genki desu ka? You know, over here it's like, what's up? Over here, I might give a head nod and say, what's up? Over there, you kind of put yourself in a different situation. Genki desu ka? Ohayou gozaimasu. You carry out that stuff so you can almost show respect to their culture. Aname ya wandan desu ka? Hi. You know, just talk to them like that. Inkle desu ka? It's funny, but Joshua is who he is, and I will say it to the end of the day. Him and Deontay Wilder not fighting back in 2018, and what they was doing to Deontay Wilder, I think it was disrespectful to the sport. You know what I'm saying? Because when it comes down to them just making the fight at the time for the undisputed titles, why would Deontay Wilder have to go in there with a $12 million flat fee, $15 million flat fee, right? Why? If a fight is a fight and you want to talk about you the best and it's all about boxing, why are you putting politics into it when you want to strip a fighter mentally, to send him in there in $1 million plus? I'm talking about millions on top of that 12 million flat fee. No upside, no nothing. They just want this man to take flat 12 million, and they're not putting that stipulation on other fighters. Povetkin didn't get that stipulation. Joseph Parker didn't get that stipulation. Carlos Takam didn't get that stipulation. But Deontay Wilder did. You don't see nothing wrong with that? You don't see anything wrong with that. The only reason Charles Martin got as much money as he did when he relinquished his IBF title was why? Because they wanted the belt. They offered Charles Martin the most money he ever made in his boxing career. He took it, and he took a dive and he took a dive in 2 rounds. That's fact. He quit. He quit. Now, congrats to him getting the win over Gerald Washington recently. Okay, salute to him. But just like he stepped in there with Andy Konoski, and the commentators was over there talking about how he quit against Anthony Joshua. So don't think I'm making it up, but that's what they was talking about. It's like that unwritten language, that unspoken language on when a fighter goes in there and take a dive, i.e. Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz went in there with the intentions of handing over those belts because that was the unspoken language. He didn't go in there to defend those belts. He went in there and went through the motions. Overweight, out of training camp. You know what I'm saying? His mind, his mentality, and his drive wasn't to come back in there and fight as better or supersede his first performance. That wasn't it. And that just goes to show you how manufactured a champion Anthony Joshua is, because look at all the ways that Joshua has freaking picked up his belts when Tyson Fury was out the sport. He's been the man over there. He ain't the man over here in the US. Travis the Champ said, this is professional boxing. It's the fighter's duty to do what is needed to win without going outside the rules. I've been in this sport on all levels, and I never saw anything that jumped out. Intentionally fouling. Well, you know, basically, intentional fouling in Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, the world saw that. Now, myself, in certain situations, and I don't like to keep comparing the military, right? But it's certain situations that if you wasn't cut from that cloth and went through some things as a kid, you wouldn't be able to get through certain aspects of boot camp in the Marine Corps. Like, I don't like talking about the personal stuff, but my dad was real strict. He swung the belt like the hammer. He swung his hand like the hammer. It didn't matter. Certain things I was prepared for when I went to boot camp, but my response wasn't the way it should be. You know what I'm saying? So certain people in boxing will look at Tyson Fury saying, well, he went in there and boxed. Deontay know what it was. Deontay's been in tough fights before. He's been around people who put the headlocks in. He's did it all before. And that's the way I kind of look at it. Like, if I'm in a tough hand-to-hand combat or martial arts, right? And a fighter is doing some dirty tactics, I would put the burden on me to be able to counter those dirty tactics and keep on pushing through the storm. That's just me. Seriously, that's just me. Like, I just didn't think the towel was should have been thrown in on Deontay Wilder. I just think mentally and physically he was a strong individual and he could have fought through that. That's just me, man. Seriously, that's just me. You can't put Adonis Stevenson on the level of Deontay Wilder when Adonis Stevenson wasn't even in training camp training the way he should have been. Facts. I know from people that's in his, I know reliable sources put it that way that I've talked to. Good point, Travis the Champ. McGregor say, where were you in Japan? Mainland Japan, Okinawa, Japan, South Korea. I was all over the place. I miss it. I love me some Japan. I probably got some kids running around there too. They speak never Japanese. It was a good time though. And the one thing about being over Japan, man, I had the opportunity to follow Glory and Pride. And a lot of mixed martial artists that was over there at that time when they was kicking to the head. Look, they didn't have mobile phones like they did now. But I had the opportunity to go over there and see some of the fighters that's over in the UFC where they used to steal. It was legalized to kick to the head over there to a downed opponent. Just soccer kick. Dan Henderson, Nogueira brothers, Mauricio Hua, Alistair Overeem. Man, the list goes on, man. Travis and Chimp say the headlocks weren't anything like a real headlock or where the guy's being choked. What I saw was Deontay Wilder putting his head alongside of Fury's body and Fury tying him up. If that's what you're seeing, cool. I mean, I can't say, the only thing I can say is what I witnessed. And it just seems like every time he had a headlock on the opposite side of Kenny Bayless. And I believe it was affecting Deontay Wilder, who had to hold that 273 pounds. You know what I'm saying? Leaning. Plenty of commentators have said that he was leaning. The only weight that really mattered, it wasn't a suit. It was Tyson's Fury weight. And I truly would go off that. And once again, I'm cut from a different cloth where myself, I would have had to do something about that. I would have had to fight my way around that. And I give it up to Deontay Wilder. He wasn't really complaining about the headlocks. He took them. And, you know, when he got knocked down, he got hit behind the head. But guess what? I looked at it as the same knockdown that he was able to get on Fury, the one that I talked to Jack Reese about. And Jack Reese said the only reason he did not call it a knockdown because Tyson Fury turned his head. And a lot of people, including myself, when Deontay Wilder turned his head, you know, Tyson Fury hit him. But there were spurts in there where I think Tyson Fury hit Deontay Wilder behind his head. But no matter how you look at it, Deontay Wilder was outboxed that day. Period. I don't know the medical part, you know, anything that was going on with him with medical. It's not my narrative that he was up here, you know, all that. Once again, I think different. My family there, is up to me to sit up there and continue to train hard. It's up to me to continue to fight for what I'm there for. You know what I'm saying? But good point there, Travis Chimp. Appreciate it, man. Rashid said, don't be disappointed in Bayless. He was just following orders. The fix went all the way up to Mauricio Suleiman, head of the WBC. Hey, you ain't never lied. WBC do their own thing. It's tough. In boxing, man, it's a business first. I mean, man, it was just so much. Like, you really have to understand the layers of boxing to know what Rashid is talking about when it comes to the WBC, because the one reference I can use is the franchise championship, man. Come on. Have we ever seen a franchise championship and those recipients be allowed to keep the belt even in a loss? So you're making up criteria that was never a part of the format to begin with. And you're saying that the recipients, the first ones to receive it, Saul Canelo Alvarez, the golden child, $365 million man, right? And then 14-1, Vasily Lomachenko, double gold medalist, earn his first title at 3 professional fights, and he's a second recipient. But yet you got Deontay Wilder, who I did ask in training camp about him and the franchise belt. And he basically kind of put it out there like that's not something he wants. But I'm asking, not Deontay Wilder, but I'm asking the generalization as if someone's been WBC champion for over 4.5 years at the time. Why wouldn't he be considered, if he's the longest reigning WBC champion, if this era right here when he was reigning, why wasn't he considered a franchise champion? Because, should I break it down? Did Canelo Alvarez defend the WBC 10 times? Did he? No. Let's just back up, because it started to heat up a little bit, start cooking. Did Lomachenko, when he defeated Luke Campbell, Vasily Lomachenko defend the WBC title? No, he vacated, right? And then that's when Devin Haney was promoted to super, right? And Devin Haney defended it one time and then got an injury. Now it's up for grab for Javier Fortuna and Luke Campbell. So how are they getting franchised? And there are only 2 of them up here when you have other people that's actually on the belt too. It's not a sense of criteria because we've seen it with Lomachenko. We've seen it with Canelo. How long do you have to reign as WBC champion to be honored as a franchise champion? If you know, drop your comments. I appreciate it. Travis the Chimp say, but yes, it looks like the headlock, but not in the true sense. Just so you know, I have no horse in the race. I'm just observing. It's all good, man. We're both observing. The only thing we could do outside of freaking actually being there physically was witness it through the television, through the network. You know what I'm saying? And see it on TV. And I'm gonna tell you, being a part of certain aspects of close quarters combat, right? It can matter. The way Tyson Fury had his arm wrapped around Deontay Wilder's neck, you can apply a choke just enough to disrupt breathing. But once again, it's only speculation. We can just go off, and you know, other people that's sensitive, they might look at it in a more worse, severe way than somebody who's actually saying, "Oh, he ain't choking him that bad." I mean, at the end of the day, Deontay Wilder is the fighter that's in there. Only he would know what was going on, how Tyson Fury may have applied the choke. Me and you can't, but I understand what you're saying, though. I get it. M. Greg, I was at Yokota. I know where Yokota's at, man. Real talk. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Yokota was a nice base too, man. Travis the Chimp said, yeah, but so you know I'm not being combative about it. I get how in moments people see things different. And I'm cool, man. I hope you don't think I'm being combative. Man, you dropping your comments, man. Hey, I'm not combative. You know, I respect what you put down there, man. Real talk. I respect the comments tonight. They're quality comments. It's nothing to get upset about. You have your opinion, Vice, I have mine. Solid points, man. Travis say, I've not heard Deontay say he was rabbit punched. And I did see that one that was caused by movement, not intent. Do you know if he has? Like it was said earlier, right? I don't know if you was on here yet. But you know, a source close to his camp said that Deontay Wilder has indeed seen, you know, all the footage out here, and also, you know, has spoken to his people or whatever. But when it comes to the dirty tactics, or if Tyson Fury was, you know, out here being dirty and not abiding by the rules, it was said that Deontay said he a king, he don't care. If that's what he needed to do to win, then guess what? It's going to be hell to pay and the trilogy, and he'll just wait to then. Because the impression that I'm getting off what I was told is that Deontay Wilder truly believes he can come back and get his crown. He truly believes he can come back and get his crown. You know, during the fight, you didn't see this, you know, all the time, like Deontay pointing to Kenny Bayless, like, oh, he hit me on the red. Look, you know, putting up his choke, like, he choking me. None of that. He was just fighting. The referee breaks it. He continued. So why people just dogging this man out? I don't ask those questions. I know. I don't like to ask a whole lot of rhetorical questions when it comes to the way people treat people bad for no reason. Like, you have the percentage of walking up to somebody, right? If I see you in person and I never met you, but I seen you on here, right? You have every right, I mean, to start you off at 100% of, you know, respectability, and then it goes from there. Not start you off at 0 and say, you know what, you got to build your respect up with me. You was at 27%. Now you back down to 15%. Nah, nobody don't have time for that. Not grown people. But I haven't heard anything, Travis, to answer your question. What's up, B&B Boxing? Salute to you. Thanks for dropping in, man. Travis said, yes, sir. AJ26 said, do you think the mainstream is purposely avoiding properly acknowledging the glove situation? I would tell you like this, right? The era that we in, right? The lens is so important. Seriously, the lens is so freaking important. And you don't have to use words in social media the way you did when I was growing up, because I grew up before freaking internet was even popping. So when you take words and people coming out here, there's repercussions to that. You have to really know the ins and outs. You have to put all the evidence together, and you have to have a clear, concise validation for people to jump on and say, okay, yeah, he had his hands in the wrist part of the glove, and that's absolute fact, right? Now you have social media where the lens play a significant roles, and you can put thumbnails up, and you can zoom in, and you can put captions up there. That sends the message. It's fighters out here that will make a fight just by going on social media and throwing jabs at another fighter, and then somehow the promoters get together and the fight end up being made, right? That's just what's going on with this glove situation. It's going to be enough media that people making these thumbnails and now deciding to kind of turn on Tyson Fury a little bit, showing how his laces wasn't even tight. And those individuals that are refusing and turning a blind eye to it say, you know what, Deontay still got his ass kicked. That's not the point. The point is that Tyson Fury cheat. And if he did cheat, how much of a significant role did that play in degrading Deontay Wilder's ability to compete outside of trying to gain his legs back, outside of trying to recover while he was taking punishment? How much did that play a role? That's all I'm saying. How much did it play a role to Deontay Wilder not being able to perform or get to a point where he may have started to shift the momentum? But we don't know. We don't know, because right now it's out in the media. But from what I found out, it's just not information I can release right now. But what I can tell you is that they have a rematch potentially in July. So you take about 5 months from now, it's already people saying, well, is Deontay Wilder going to be ready? So what did he need to get ready for Tyson Fury? A year? And let the momentum die down? No, you need to get this while it's hot, while the barometer is still at the tipping point. Where people are now, they're taking the controversy. Once again, they had controversy in the Staples Center. They had controversy here at the MGM Grand. Now you take that same momentum of controversy over to the trilogy. Do or die. Do or die. It's do or die. Because I'm pretty sure the winner of the trilogy is going to go on and unify the titles with Anthony Joshua. What I know is a lot of people was on here finessing the keys and saying, Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, that's the fight should happen. Deontay Wilder should fall back. He had his chance. So let me get this straight, right? When Deontay Wilder was able to get a draw with Tyson Fury refused to rematch. Deontay Wilder didn't refuse to give him a rematch. Tyson Fury refused the rematch. He went on to do other things. He didn't want the rematch immediately. So now that Deontay Wilder faces his first loss, he doesn't deserve a rematch. After he's given fighters in the past rematch, Bermane Stiverne, Luis Ortiz, he's basically stepped up to his most toughest challenges and did a rematch, right? The only 2 losses on Luis Ortiz's record is Deontay Wilder. So why isn't it fair for him to get a rematch with Tyson Fury? You can't say, well, if you really want to look at it, I don't want to hear that what if shit. If you look at the first fight on BoxRec, it's a draw. You go on BoxRec and look at the rematch February 22nd, it's Tyson Fury. It's Tyson Fury. He won, hands down. Travis said, Rashid said, did you see the large hematoma swelling on the back of Wilder's head? Yeah, I seen a picture of it circulating. A picture of it circulating. And like, once again, not being at the fight, not being able to physically, right there in the presence, put eyes on it. I can only go off, I seen the thumbnail to answer your question. King Ebenezer said, have you watched all the Glovegate debunk videos? Of course, it's going to be Glovegate debunk, right? There are going to be people out here that can debunk the Glovegate. But I'm going to tell you, I have never seen the debunking go on for another fighter that actually was in the same situation as Tyson Fury. Pull up, retrieve in this technical era, pull up another video and show where a glove is flexing like that. Show me one video. I want to see one video. Just show me a video, people, of where you see another fighter glove with him flicking out the jab like that, and the bones in his dang hand is just like flexing like it's an X-Men movie. Show me. I want to see that video. How does that happen? I haven't even seen that in a mixed martial arts fight. Travis said, I found the glove issue interesting, but I also want to let people know if Fury's hand wasn't in the wrist, it doesn't mean Fury was cheating. It means both guys were cheating us. I'm not sure what the latter half mean. Both guys cheating us. I'm pretty sure if his hand wasn't in the glove, Deontay Wilder didn't know his hand wasn't in the glove. I don't think in the moment, the adrenaline and the punishment he was taking, he was trying to look at the freaking the measure of how that glove was flexing. I don't think he was looking and checking that out and see how pliable the glove was. I don't think that was Deontay's focus. Real talk. King Ebenezer said nobody complained when Wilder knocked down Fury with a headshot in the round 9 of the first fight. Like I mentioned there, King Ebenezer, if you see my video on YouTube, I had the opportunity to speak one-on-one with Jack Reese. And Jack Reese said that Tyson Fury turned his head. That's why I consider the knockdown. Deontay Wilder did not intentionally hit Tyson Fury behind the head. When he was throwing the punch, Tyson Fury turned his head and the punch landed, and it was considered a knockdown. Just check the interview out. Appreciate it. AJ26 mentions not really though. He didn't address the pictures. He merely mentioned the flick jab that Ali used still doesn't provide a good argument against it. King Ebenezer says Showbiz the adult showed Ali doing the same thing. Ali was known to flick his jab out there, okay? But listen, if Ali was out there flicking a jab where his glove was going back the way it was, Showbiz the dope isn't the only one that has a video of Ali flicking that jab out there. But the whole purpose of the examination is for the glove to be bending backwards the way it is. Not the motion of flicking the jab, but how the glove actually looks on the end of the movement. That's what our concern is. How does the glove look at the end of the movement? You're flicking the jab out there. That ain't it. We're looking at the equipment. The equipment. Does it fit the normal flow, the range? Does it? Because if you look at boxing, we just don't get this damn examination too often. We don't get this research. Like say, oh, so-and-so flicking that jab out there. Look at this glove. It's not a commonality that we see in boxing. It's just not. That is not a commonality, y'all, that we see in boxing, a glove looking like that. It's not a commonality. It's not something that we're used to seeing. And that video, Ali been out there for I don't know how long, man. but I just can't compare the two. I just can't compare the two to what I seen with Fury. King Amnesty said Ali Glove did the same thing. AJ 26 says not as much as Fury did because Fury went backwards 90 degrees and forward 90 degrees. And you know, that just goes to what I'm trying to get at. Like the Ali video been out there. And the reason why I'm not going to compare the two videos, because a lot of people are truly wanting to justify not seeing, hear no evil, see no evil. They just put in their hand like it's something awkward about the way Tyson Fury gloves look. It's not because who I support in the heavyweight division. That's not it. It's because of what I actually see with these glasses on, or if I take them off. I mean, it's not a commonality on what we see on the end of a freaking technique for the glove to flop backwards like that. No. It's good for conversation, though. Travis Achim, I think he's about to make a good point. I haven't even read it. He said, pillow fisted. The front of the glove was filled with padding so he could punch Deontay Wilder without hurting him badly. But looking like he was. That's how it's done. Something was in the glove, and I'm not here to speculate that anything other than the padding was in there. I get what you're saying, though, Travis. I get what you're saying about the glove. You know, it was a lot of speculation that it potentially may have been weight in there. I won't go that far because that's just really loading up accusations against a fighter. And it gets to a point where you might be putting some defaming material out there. And you don't want that as media. You don't want to sit up here and start saying, well, Tyson Fury was doing this. He probably had this in his glove. You don't want that. You want to make sure you have some type of validity to the to merit what you're putting out there. But see, I'm just trying to find out, like, when did Tyson Fury start knocking out opponents? How many times did Deontay Wilder go down when they fought in December 2018? How many times did Tom Schwartz go down? How many times did freaking Otto Wallen go down? Francisco Pianetta. When did he become a knockout puncher? When did, just like John Owen said earlier, when did Tyson Fury, Mr. Pillow Hands, when he was fighting Vladimir Klitschko, when did he become a power puncher? When did he possess all this power? And people have been looking like, oh, he's just coming into his grown man strength at 30 years old. Man, come on. Travis said, yes, the glove was empty. It's just what I said it was. Both guys knew what was up. Okay. The glove was empty. I'll have to wait and see what the investigation comes up with, if any. You know? AJ 26 said it's very near impossible for a glove to move like that unless Fury is double jointed in the wrist, which he's not. Man, it's so much. I get it, y'all. You know what I'm saying? I get what you're saying. I just hope due diligence is made, you know, with those entities that's in charge of handling situations like that. We all want it to be fair, but it's so much money in the trilogy. Are they really going to put in the effort of due diligence and investigating and spending the money to investigate the footage? Are they going to do that? Or, boxing being a sport, they're just going to say, you know what, we'll focus on it after the trilogy. Because just like a lot of people make money off February 22nd, a lot of people are going to make money on the next one in July on the trilogy. And if it's true, you know, the fight may be in the new Los Angeles Raiders Stadium. We'll see, man. AJ 26 said it's very near impossible for a glove to move like that. Double jointing in the wrist, which he is not. I know I read that before. I just wanted to read it again because, you know, Tyson Fury isn't double jointed. I don't think Fury's glove moved like that when he fought Otto Wallen. And, you know, that's a solid point you made there, AJ 26. That's what I'm talking about, you know, when you have actual boxing fans on here putting quality content up. Now, apart from what, you know, with Travis Chimp making his solid point, AJ 26 makes a solid point. There's no media footage up here that's from his previous fights. If he's popping his jab up like Ali, there should be resembling footage out there of him in other fights with the glove flexing. Not so, you know, we have to see something. He just didn't start fighting like this because he went and got Sugar Hill Stewart and he taught him how to pop the jab out there. You know why? Because it's footage out there from the first fight that was in 2018. And in 2018, Tyson Fury was not with Sugar Hill Stewart. So unless we see some footage with him with the other four opponents, the Sefa Safaris, Francisco Pianetta, Tom Schwartz, or Otto Wallen, I want to see footage from that because we saw it. We saw it from the first fight with Deontay Wilder. I want to see it in some other collective fights for people to freaking base their opinions off of. That's a damn good point, AJ. Damn good point, man. Vito, what's good? What's good? Vito said third fight won't sell. You know why it's going to sell that, Vito? Because people want to make sure that Tyson Fury keeps his title. That's why it will sell. They want to see can Deontay Wilder come back and get his crown. Deontay Wilder took punishment in a rematch. So going into this, people have a betting odds mentally. They have a betting odds, and they're going to say, can Deontay Wilder actually return and take his crown back? The way Tyson Fury looked, Tyson Fury has built up a fan base that now believe he cannot lose with any other top-ranked heavyweight. They don't think, including myself, I don't think he'll lose against Anthony Joshua. I don't think so. The only one that's a credible opponent right now to come back and face Tyson Fury is indeed Deontay Wilder. While everything is still heated, everything is suspenseful, and the intrigue is there. That's what sells tickets. So if you go over there, Deontay Wilder faces freaking Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua bring butts to the seats in the UK. Tyson Fury bring butts over here to the US. They like him over here in the US. Anthony Joshua ain't gonna come over here and receive no freaking welcoming when he walks to the ring just because it's the undisputed titles and they're gonna be cheering him on like no other. No, they're gonna be cheering Tyson Fury and they're gonna be booing Anthony Joshua. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think Anthony Joshua will appreciate that. He's not built like that. If he comes over here and he doesn't hear the cheers and the crowd just behind him like he does when he's over there across the pond, he may feel some type of way about that. But Tyson Fury, he's one of those dogs, savages, weird, gypsy king, don't care. He's cut from a different cloth. Tyson Fury will convince you that he can be the show. He can be the life of the party. That's Tyson Fury. That's why they like him over here, because he's that weird type individual. 6'9", always dancing around, wearing tight-ass shorts, kissing on men. He's a weird dude, but he can fight. Travis said, my point is, if we're going to claim Fury knew, then we have to assume Wilder knew. I know I would know if I was getting hit with padding only. I can't think for another person mentally. That's one thing I cannot do is place myself behind the lens of another human being just off remote sight. I get absolutely what you're saying, but I need to have the qualification for being in the ring at that level, nor do I have the qualification and the special powers invested in me since birth to say I can actually assume the mindset of another human being and what they're experiencing at the moment. I'm just not qualified to say that. Even if I wanted to bloviate the process and come up and present conspiracy theories, I wouldn't disrespect myself enough to put myself out there and say, yeah, if I was a fighter in the heat of the moment, I would have known I was just getting hit with pad. But I look at it like this: the way he was flicking that jab out, it wouldn't have been, a full force straight on jab like you usually do, straight turn it, however he wants to throw. He was just flicking the jab out there like a touch jab. He was just touching. So I get your point, though. My fault, everybody. I dropped out of there for a second. I don't know connection, but I don't know what's going on with this. But anyway, if it goes out again, I'm just gonna shut it down. But back to what Vito was saying. So you think Wilder finally learned how to box after 44 fights? To be honest with you, that's a comment that you yourself and I will have different of opinion according to how much you respect the fighter to begin with. Learning how to fight, being champion over 5 years, 42 victories, 41 knockouts. There has to be some boxing in there somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Johan Duhaupas had never been stopped before. And Wilder took punishment in that fight, and he still stopped him in the 11th round by boxing. Every fight doesn't supposed to be the same. Every opponent isn't going to be the same. But he has some bright opponents, some bright areas in his career that he performed well and he used boxing skills. Now, of course, he doesn't do certain things that we expect in a boxer. Boxing doesn't have a template, y'all. Y'all need to stop trying to give boxing a template. The heavyweight division don't have a template. There's no template to how boxers are supposed to look. You pick and choose on what Fury is doing right. Fury throws combinations. He can get on the inside and throw uppercuts and throw combinations. His footwork is much better than Wilder. We know that. We know that. But what Wilder has been able to do is put together his skill set enough to become one of the best heavyweight champions of this era, and also accumulating 42 victories. Saying he lost, of course, at 34 years old, 35 this year in October, he's not going to be a Tyson Fury. He wasn't born a Tyson Fury. He's going to have to put together an advantage and come up with a different mindset when he goes in there for the trilogy. That's all he can do. He's going to have to work on some things. Be more active with his combinations. Just don't throw. I'm trying to get to these comments. KZ said Fury definitely cheated. Man came in 2 weight classes heavier. Well, it's heavyweight division. We don't have a super heavyweight. You know, so he did what he had to do. I mean, we can say the same for Jarrell Miller when he fought his opponent, last opponent. Jarrell Miller has been up to 304 and I believe 317, I think. You know, we got to look across the board. It's the heaviest division in boxing. Rashid said, I'm focused on Wilder getting the ultimate revenge on Fury. The payback would be devastating. Maybe Wilder gets that body on his record. Hey, that's a bronze bomber. That ain't Wilder. That's a bronze bomber. Yeah, you know, solid point there, Rashid. That's a bronze bomber, though. Travis say, whoa, you had me ducking for cover, though. I should be expecting incoming. I'm trying to get these comments. KZ make a good point. Say what Wilder has done being undersized for a heavyweight is nothing short of remarkable. And that's true words, man. He was fighting at 209 a couple of times. He did some remarkable things as a heavyweight champion. You got to respect it. That's why I don't respect the people who's just criticizing him and taking him as a joke, as if he did anything. You know, short amateur career, went into the Olympics, and you know the story. Earned the bronze medal, went into the damn professional ranks, and he was able to earn his championship. It took him about 7 years. Yeah. Yeah, I know that, KZ. It took him from the time, you know, that he turned professional and, you know, came in here out of the Olympics and won his first championship. The WBC, the one thing they're going to talk about is Wilder not having multiple belts. That's what they're going to talk about. But the belt that he did have, he was able to defend it going on the 11th time on February 22nd. He came up short. But that's respectable. He was in the company of Ali and others, and that's respectable. He's going to be a future Hall of Famer, whether they like it or not. Travis said, I guarantee this glove issue goes away tonight after what I said about both guys would have known. The glove issue, you're on one outlet. There's so many people out here talking about that glove issue, man. That glove issue, it ain't going. It might go beneath the surface just for a little bit. It's gonna keep buoying, being buoyant on the surface. It's just gonna keep floating and floating like a rubber ducky. And people are gonna talk about it. Why? Because the momentum is dying down just a little bit from the fight weekend. We're a week removed from the actual fight. So they're going to start talking about, man, did Tyson Fury win fair? Is this glove issue really a concern? You know how the boxing fans are. They will cheer you 1 minute and they will boo you the next. And then if it's that bad, they will absolutely take to social media. And the same one that was cheering Tyson Fury will absolutely vilify the hell out of him. That's the world we live in, man. But we'll see, man. We'll see if you're right. Hey, but I'm out. I have to go ahead and take care of some business with the son and everything. But those of you that turned in, hey, be sure to follow me on all social media. All social media. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Been a productive night. Man, salute to all y'all that tuned in to World Combat Sports to talk about this issue. I'm pretty sure it won't be the last time. But understand one thing. And World Combat Sports speaks about boxing and mixed martial arts. I know a lot of people don't like the blend, but I do. Be sure to follow me on IG, man. All of it's World Combat Sports. WorldCombatSports.com. I do have a website that's out there. I'm going to start updating some information. And also check out the pics that I put up with Andrew Stokes promotion out of Columbia, South Carolina. I took some fight card pics. I'm pretty sure the fighters are going to be pleased with seeing themselves up there. And once again, the fighters, do me a favor and cite, the photographer behind the picture. Just don't put the picture out there and act like I should be happy that you use the pic. You should be happy there's a pic out here with somebody who invested the time to give you the pic, because a lot of people are just charging these fighters. You know what I'm saying? So just grow. We both help each other out. But to the supporters of World Combat Sports, man, salute to you. Be sure to turn up and tune in to World Combat Sports. And thank you all for the donations.